Phillies baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
3 years, 7 months, and 29 days ago yesterday, the rains came, the wind came, and eventually Commissioner Bud Selig suspended World Series Game 5 before the unforgettable conclusion 2 nights later. With the Rays making their first meaningful return visit 1,337 days later, that couldn't happen again, right? There were similarities talked about last night compared to 2008 over and over again. Yes, it was about 60 degrees warmer last night. The rains did come. It was a little more comfortable sitting outside than it was back in the World Series, but in the end, it was the same result. They put the tarp on the field. They took the tarp off the field. Then they thought they were able to resume play. Both starting pitchers got all tuned up and ready to go. James Shields and then Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee walking in from the bullpen after this warm-up session. That's when the rain started again. And what happened? Well, things were flooded around the yard, and then they decided to put the tarp back on the field. Jim Joyce, the crew chief, said, we're not going to start the ball game. But today, no problems whatsoever. It's a gorgeous afternoon for baseball. Blue skies, comfortable breeze, and yes, interleague play between the Rays and the Phillies from the ballpark. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Yes, we are back here at the yard. We have 3 games now in a little more than 25 hours that the Phillies and the Rays will play, and everybody's settling in. The pitching matchups are all set. Today it's Kyle Kendrick against James Shields.
Nothing like a flashback. Forgotten how bad it was here that night back in 2008. Yeah, last night was not good. They finally had to call the game. But looking forward to the rest of this series because the Rays are a fun team to watch, fun team to play against. And the matchup this afternoon, as Tom mentioned, a little different than last night. But Shields in game number 2 of the World Series, well, he won the only game for the Rays as they split down there, and then the Phillies swept them eventually up in Philadelphia. He had a really good fastball in that game. See all the strikeouts. He got Greg Dobbs a couple times, got Pat Burrell, got Jason Worth, and he pitched a tremendous game. This guy's an outstanding pitcher. See, he's had some good years for them, but he hangs in there. He pitches a lot of innings. So when he goes out there this afternoon, and there will be some shadows later on today, you expect him to pitch very, very well against the Phillies.
One of the big differences for James Shields this year, and you could say this a lot for the other Rays starters, their defense has not been very good behind him. They have 38 unearned runs coming into this ball game. So it will be James Shields on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. He'll be opposed by right-hander Kyle Kendrick, who's filling in for Cliff Lee. Lee will start game 2 of tomorrow's day-night doubleheader against the Tampa Bay Rays. So everybody's settling in, ready to go, including the Phils offense, led by Jimmy Rollins. Rollins has been hot during this month of June. That's great news for the Phillies because as he goes, they go. The lineup's at first pitch when we get back. Phillies and the Tampa Bay Rays. It's the first now of a 3-game series, 3 games in 2 days. The Phillies are about to take the field. Kyle Kendrick will make the start this afternoon for the Phillies. This was his regularly scheduled start. Cliff Lee, who was scheduled to start last night before the rains came, will start game 2 of tomorrow's day-night doubleheader. Let's take a look at the Rays starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in left field, Desmond Jennings. Carlos Pena, the first baseman, bats second. B.J. Upton hits third, followed by Hideki Matsui. Ben Zobrist is at second base, batting fifth. Jose Lobaton, the catcher, will bat sixth. In the bottom third of Keppinger, Johnson, and Shields. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick, who's making his 11th start of the year. He's 2-7 on the season with an earned run average of 5.29. We mentioned, Wheels, this is supposed to be his day to start. They just thought it would be better to give Cliff Lee an extra day and then a few hours to make the start in game 2.
Yeah, it'll be 2 days basically until Cliff Lee starts again, almost 48 hours. So here is Kyle Kendrick. He has lost 3 in a row, and he's been hit pretty hard his last few times out. And you always think about left-handed hitters in the lineup. Well, they have 5 of them today. He needs to use his fastball, his cutter, and his changeup. And there you go with the last 3 starts, a very high earned run average of 9. This is one of those games where you want to get a lead, too, because you're going to get some nasty shadows here probably late in this game.
And as the Phillies begin play right now, they're tied for 4th in the National League East. So they have, they have another team with them in the basement in the National League East because the Marlins have lost to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it was 3-1 in the 9th inning, then 7-1 the final out there. Boy, the Miami Marlins are really struggling right now. Unbelievable the way they've been losing games. Well, here are our Nissan keys to the game, and it is really nice. Well, we decided to use the same ones that last night we never got to. The Pinellas County neighbors, they're in town, and they are really struggling on offense and defense. Defense especially strange for them. And the Phillies are going to face top to bottom very, very strong pitching with this team. They aren't swinging the bats real well, but they can really pitch with their rotation and their bullpen.
Desmond Jennings will lead it off for the Rays. Jennings, a .243 hitter with 3 home runs, 19 runs batted in. And the first pitch of the day is taken low, so we're underway. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Jim Joyce has the plate today. They did some umpire reshuffling, so you will hear him shortly. He is the loudest umpire in the league with strikes.
He's the crew chief of this umpiring crew. 2-0 the count. In fact, Jim Joyce played a role in last night's ball game. Vic Carapaz's at first, James Hoy's at second, Mike DeMuro's over at third. Jim Joyce came out when they were supposed to start the ball game, and because it was raining, he didn't want to start the game, so they put the tarp back on the field. And eventually the game was postponed.
There he goes. Got his first strike call.
2-1 the count to Desmond Jennings. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Desmond Jennings, a heck of an athlete. The Rays selected him in the 10th round several years ago, and he was a receiver in junior college. Probably would have went higher, but a lot of folks thought he was going to play Division I football. But he signed with the Rays. He hits one on 1 hop to Martinez. 1 out here in the first.
They have 2 tremendous athletes in their outfield, and Desmond Jennings, who Tom's just talking about, and of course B.J. Upton.
There's B.J. He's the number 3 batter today. The number 2 hitter is not your prototypical number 2 hitter. It's Carlos Pena who's walking to the plate.
Yeah, left-handed hitter walks through the front of the box or the back of the box like that. Usually they circle when they come out. That looks strange. Look like he's going up there hitting right-handed.
Pena's second tour of duty with the Rays. He was part of the 2008 American League championship team that lost to the Phillies in the World Series. Part of the reason why the Phillies won that World Series is because they kept this guy and Evan Longoria in check. Pena was just 2 for 17 in the World Series. This year he's hitting .203 with 9 home runs and 29 runs batted in.
83 strikeouts, tied for second in the American League. And you see the flags blowing right now from left to right. Ball was jumping out of here right center with this northwest wind today.
1 ball, no strikes the count. They play him to pull with 3 infielders on the right side. It's 2-0.
Yeah, the Jim Thome, Ryan Howard shift on him. Sounds good to use Ryan Howard's name, right?
Well, it sounds like Ryan is progressing very well. and is hopefully, according to Ryan, going to play in some rehab games. And the hope is by next week.
It would be nice to start the clock on him.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. There's a strike at a cutter. It's 2-1.
Kyle's fallen behind the first two guys 2-0, and obviously no one can pitch in the league like that, and especially a guy like Kyle. So he knows he's got to get ahead. There's their career leaders in homers. So this guy was gone for a while. He was over with the Cubs last year.
He was with the Rays the first time from 2007 through the 2010 season. Out in front of a changeup, it's 2-2. Last year played for the Cubs. Folks thought he would re-sign with the Cubs, but he welcomed a return to Tampa, where he hasn't hit for a lot of average, or a high average, but he does have 9 home runs. Strangely, he's batted leadoff this year a handful of times.
Joe Maddon did that one time to try and get him going because he was struggling so much. But he will strike out with the best of them, but he can hit some homers. It just, when you watch him play, he just looks like he's pull homer happy. And when you see a defense set up this way, you know the charts on him or is that he pulls everything. Heck, they're even playing him to pull in the outfield.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Just missed inside, 3-2.
A lot of these guys that you play with the overshift defense to pull this way hit the fly balls the other way for whatever reason. This defense is strictly pull.
And they are deep. Got him. Threw him a changeup way out in front. It tailed away from him. First strikeout for Kendrick. Number 41 of the year. Hey, with 2 outs, that'll bring B.J. Upton to the plate.
That is a great pitch to throw to a guy who's trying to pull because he's wide open as it comes in there. You don't ever want to throw these guys middle in because they're open so much trying to pull everything. You stay away like that, you got a chance to get them. Well, they may flare one once in a while, but you know you're keeping them in the ballpark.
B.J. Upton on the year, a .267 hitter, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Takes a slider high, 1-0. 3 for 13 on this road trip.
That opening we had of the player, you saw his cleats in that mud puddle. That was B.J. Upton before he stole second base and then scored the tying run. And then we had a couple days of rain delays.
We did. Rain, snow, sleet, you name it. Michael Martinez is there to make the catch. That's a 13-pitch first inning for Kyle Kendrick. So the series between the Rays and the Phillies underway. Might have taken a little longer, but James Shields is going to work when we come back. The biggest thing, and this has always been the case, is that you can't do much about Mother Nature. And that's what was happening last night, as the Phillies were supposed to play a couple different times but did not. Let's take a look at his lineup. It's the same one he had last night except for the starting pitcher. And again, it's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Juan Pierre bats second. Hunter Pence hits third, followed by Carlos Ruiz and Ty Wigginton. In the 6th hole was Placido Polanco. John Mayberry starts at center field for Shane Victorino. He'll bat 7th. Batting 8th is Michael Martinez. And, of course, pitching is Kyle Kendrick. And they'll face 30-year-old right-hander James Shields, who said after last night's rainout that he never really got warmed up in the pen. He was out there as long as he would normally be, but he knew that the weather was going to be a factor, so he didn't overdo it while he was warming up. So that's why he feels like he's ready to go today. And Rich Doobie said to me today, you know, it's up to the teams. He said everybody's different when they make these decisions on whether a guy should come back or not. There you see his scouting report.
See, he throws a lot of change-ups and also evidently uses his cutter quite a bit. At one time, you know, he had a really good four-seam fastball. In fact, those highlights we were showing you from the World Series game, he was getting strikeouts on four-seam fastballs.
Well, that first pitch was a fastball, and it's 0-1 to Rollins.
Yeah, he told him after the game last night that he had no problem he could go today, and she said that's a team decision.
Rollins hits it in the air to right center field. DJ Upton is under it onto the track, and he makes the catch. Ball will carry today.
Boy, did that take off on him. That really fooled him. He's just such an unbelievable athlete that he made that play. You see Shields kind of looking like, what happened there? He didn't hit it that well, did he? But we mentioned how the ball's flying out to right center in batting practice. So look out in that area.
So Rollins is retired. Here's Juan Pierre. Pierre was 2 for 7 in the series against the Rockies.
Shields didn't want that ball anymore. He said that's got a rabbit in it. We're going to get rid of that one.
Third baseman Keppinger is in on the grass for Pierre, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Keppinger was scheduled to play second base last night. Ben Zobrist, who's at second, was supposed to be in right, but they've shifted him around.
It's one of their problems is what you just said, Tom. They're shifting so many guys around in their defense that they can't settle down. And Longoria is not playing third base right now, and he's their star.
1-1 the count to Pierre. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Glenn Stepanovic of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Glenn will win $100. And Pierre bunts it foul. 2-2 the count. Today 87 degrees, partly sunny, and a breeze coming from left to right. It's basically been the way the flags have been blowing throughout BP today, throughout the afternoon here at the ballpark. It's a beautiful day.
When the wind comes out of the northwest, it's got a chance to be cooler.
Grounder foul, and it remains 2-2 to Pierre. Phillies are 33-38 on the year. They're 8.5 games behind the Nationals, who lost last night to the Orioles. And as we mentioned, they're tied with the Marlins for 4th place in the National League East. I don't know if psychologically it'll do anything to get them out of the basement, but if they can win today and just hop over one team, it's a start.
Yeah, they did it once before, and then they dropped back in again.
Ground ball to the right side under the glove of Zobrist. That's going to wind up being, I would believe, a base hit, but that's a ball that most second basemen should get to.
Hey, there's a perfect example of what you're hearing with them, how they're struggling with their infield defense. I think major. Look at Matt. You know, what's he going to say? But that ball in the major leagues has to be an out, or you're going to have problems. You know, it's not hit that hard. Granted, they're playing him up the middle, but he doesn't even come close to making a play on that, and that's almost routine.
Zobrist, who moves around. He plays the outfield. He plays second base. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence, a .275 hitter with 13 homers and 42 runs batted in.
These guys are known for overshifts, too. You read a lot about the things that the Rays are known for. You know, they do a lot of sabermetrics and all that stuff. Well, they really have a shift in that infield on right now for Pence with the second baseman Zobrist up the middle.
Well, their manager, Joe Maddon, has to be given a lot of credit for what he's been able to accomplish as the manager of this team. As you see Pierre and Shields, a little cat and mouse game.
Quick feet. That's the key to a right-handed pitcher. If they have any chance to pick guys off are their feet. Well, he quick pitched him then, and Pierre was thinking about going. He thought he had read something, then he quick pitched him, and he stopped dead in his tracks.
2 pickoffs, 1 balk. Base stealers are 6 for 8 against him.
He's got one of those. He goes through the stages thing there. Going into the stretch, that is different.
Runner goes, pitches low, throw to second is not in time. Pierre, who is the active leader in stolen bases, gets his 15th of the year.
He spun his wheels too between first and second. He did not get a good jump. Throw was kind of soft and high, taken in front of the bag. See, he did not get a real good jump as he spun him a little bit. And look where the infielder takes a throw way up in front of the bag. I guess he had to.
It's Jose Lobaton who's behind the plate today. Jose Molina was scheduled to start last night. Lobaton is the better offensive player, not a bad defensive catcher. So a runner in scoring position here in the first. The count is 2-0 to Hunter Pence. And he fouls it at the plate, 2-1. Pence over his last 35 games is hitting .307. He has struggled during that time with runners in scoring position. He had 3 RBIs though in the series against the Rockies.
They move Pena way off first base now. Mentioned how they shifted the second baseman Zobrist up the middle with Pierre at first. Well, nobody on there. Look where the first baseman is. That's what I mean, how they dramatically overshift certain hitters. And more so evidently than any other team. There's George Hendrick, who's one of their coaches. Used to be known as Silent George. But not talk to the media when he was a player.
Three and 2 the count now to Pence. That was the cutter that we talked about. It's probably his second favorite pitch to his changeup. Carlos waits on deck. Pence is 0 for 4 against Shields in his career. You see Pierre leading off second. The payoff pitch. Foul tipped right at the plate. Stays alive.
And with all this stuff going on in the infield for them right now with Pence there, it's straight away in the outfield. There you go. Look at that. Straight up behind second base is Upton.
That's a souvenir for the upper deck behind home plate. That doesn't happen often.
See many come up here like that.
Well, on Mama Lucia's Ladies' Day, it's very nice that a lady has that souvenir.
Yeah. What a beautiful afternoon.
Phil's threatening here in the first, trying to get that run home. And Pence pops it up behind the plate. That'll be back into the Diamond Club. 17 pitches now for Shields. 8 of those pitches against Hunter Pence. And now Lobaton and Shields trying to get on the same page. Shields, as we mentioned, 30 years old. He's from Newhall, California, a former 16th round draft pick by the Rays, who's thrown 200 innings, at least 200 innings in each of the last 6 years.
He's a workhorse. Aaron Rowan's cousin.
Jim Hickey, who's the pitching coach, did a nice job when he was with the Astros and has continued to do the same with the Rays. 3-2 pitch. With a foul ball, it remains 3-2. One of the problems that Shields has had this year, and we haven't seen them on a daily basis, but this is something that folks have reported, is that when there are misplays or when there are issues behind him, he does get exasperated. He shows a lot of the body language. He's the all-time leader in wins for the Tampa Bay Rays.
12 unearned runs this year.
And as a team, they've given up 38 unearned runs. tied for the most. And he gets Pence. And he threw him something soft. That Pence is the second out here in the first.
That looked like a changeup. I don't know whether it is or not. We'll see if we can tell on the. Yeah, look at him tuck it in his hand. And there it goes. It's a changeup came fading back towards the middle of the plate, and Pence was way out in front of it.
So a 10-pitch at bat for Pence.
3-2. Excuse me, Tom. 3-2 changeup finally gets him.
Well, that is, I mean, even though he's thrown his cutter a lot this year, that is, as we mentioned during the scouting report, his best pitch.
Yeah, that's what they have on their notes that Fangraphs has down, that percentage. What we put up, 31%. That's a lot of changeups.
He's ahead of Ruiz. Ruiz, a .347 batter, fourth in the league in hitting. But he's been one of the best and most consistent hitters for the Phillies with runners in scoring position.
They're doing it again with Pena. Way off the bag at first base. You know, they're just figuring that a hitter is much more likely to hit a ball towards the hole than down the line. So as a result, they give it all that right there and playing him in that area. A right-handed hitter. Obviously, if it's a left-handed hitter, they're not going to do that. They'll play him more to pull.
Mick Billmeyer, who's the Phillies bullpen coach, coached with Joe Madden for a long time. Said he's a great guy. He said he's very smart, and he always has been a guy that liked to follow stats. He was never afraid of looking at the numbers. He said he's very bright, and he knows how to decipher them, which is why he's been effective in using them in the way he's managed a game.
Looks like he has half a Hazleton with him here today.
Yeah, they said almost 100 people that have come from Hazleton.
That's where he is from.
Mick and Joe were together with the LA Angels of Anaheim. And they've known each other for a long time.
Larry Ball was there at the same time. Terry Collins. And Scioscia, of course, was a manager.
Bud Black was there.
Mickey Hatcher. I mean, all those guys have gone through as coaches for Mike Scioscia.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Carlos Ruiz. And he hit him. 12th time this year he's been hit by a pitch. He leads the National League in that category.
I kidded him about that the other day. I standing there talking to him. I said, you know, you can't go a game without getting hit somehow. And he looked at me and says, what do you mean? I said, well, think about it. You either get hit by a pitch, you get hit by a foul ball, your glove gets hit for interference. And he smiled, he laughed, he says, you're right, I do get hit every game. And here it is. This one's early. Right on that elbow, on another elbow.
It's his throwing arm, too.
Really? He's a human dartboard anymore.
He'll leave it for Wigginton. 25th pitch of the inning for Shields. And he fooled him. It's 0-1.
There's a guy who's going to swing at the first pitch.
2 home runs in his career against Shields.
Right. So he may have thought, well, I got a feel for what he's going to give me on the first pitch.
Wiggins had played for the Rays in 06 and part of 07. Went from Pittsburgh to Tampa. He had 24 home runs for the Rays one year.
Wow. Well, Wigginton is a guy with power, and he's shown a little bit of it lately. Right now, they just like to get a single and lead the game. That'd be nice. Jump out front.
In the dirt, 1-2. Good play by Lobaton.
And one of the light tower shadows has already started to creep onto the warning track down the left field line. So, you know, as beautiful as it is here today, you will have some shadows in this game as it goes along, and it'll be much more pitcher friendly. See, that's nothing right now. It doesn't affect the game at all. But within an hour, you know, you'll start to notice it. Fans like to be in the shadows, out of the sunshine.
One ball, 2 strikes, the count. Popped him up. That should be back into the seats. It will be. That fastball came in at 95 from Shields.
Well, you got to think about all the pitches Shields threw to warm up last night. Now, as you said, Tom, he had to warm up again today, start all over again, and he's already at 28. So, you know, they're doing a great job of working a guy who could get tired fast today.
There's Cliff Lee. who will start the night game of the day-night doubleheader tomorrow after warming up last night to start. And Wigginton, I don't think he saw it out of his hand. He's rung up for the final out. So the Phillies have a long inning, 29 pitches against Shields. They leave 2, though. We go to the second. Rays nothing and the Phillies nothing. Send Carlos Ruiz and other Phillies to this year's All-Star game by voting up to 25 times at Phillies.com. Visit Phillies.com and cast your ballot now for your 2012 All-Stars. Vote early, vote often, vote today at Phillies.com. Top of the second. No score. It'll be Hideki Matsui, Ben Zobrist, and Jose Lobaton. Matsui's been able to linger around the American League these last couple of years after leaving the Yankees after being the MVP in 2009 against the Phillies when he had 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. He's been able to find some places to play. Oakland, now here with the Tampa Bay Rays. Took him a while this year. Takes the first pitch outside. It's 1-0.
Yeah, he in the American League for a lot of years was a prolific left-handed hitter. As you said, Tom, he killed the Phillies in the World Series in 2009. He was really a weapon for them.
Change up for a strike, 1-2. You saw the Japanese media that were there taking photos. They still follow him as if he was a rookie with the Yankees.
Yeah, there are a lot around.
Offensively, Matsui and Ichiro have been really the 2 best stars from Japan that have come over. They're the ones that have been offensively the most successful.
Yeah, Nomo probably the pitcher, I would think. Considered no hitter. Noma was so heralded when he came over, and he lived up to it for a while.
Plus Rookie of the Year. And for Matsui, playing in that fishbowl, which is New York with the Yankees, he kind of settled right in there and had no issues whatsoever, it seems.
Well, he's just been a good hitter since he came over. He's not one of those slap and run guys either. This guy drives the ball.
1-2 pitch from Kendrick. Swing and a miss. He got it. Second strikeout for Kyle.
He's doing a good job with his changeup to a couple left-handed hitters, fading it down and away when they're opening up trying to pull. They're guessing right, and the hitter's guessing wrong. See, watch him. He's another open up and pull guy. See how wide open his hips are when he swings, and you throw him that down and away fader, and he can't get to it.
One away. Ben Zobrist is now the batter. Zobrist 1 for 10 in the series against the Nationals. Hitting .230 with 9 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Zobrist last year had 20 home runs and 91 runs batted in for the Rays. He's been a good player for them. He's a switch hitter. Loops that one over the head of Jimmy Rollins. It's the first hit of the day for Tampa. So a 1-out single. And that'll bring Jose Lobaton to the plate. You know, they kind of thought that Jose Molina could be their everyday catcher coming into this year, and he's played, I think, 44 games. But offensively, he struggles. He's hitting under 200. So Lobaton has gotten a chance to play a little bit more than maybe they expected once the season began.
Well, we read so much about them during spring training because, you know, we're down that area, and you read the St. Pete paper, and they really thought they had an everyday catcher, Molina, which was strange because he hadn't really been that kind of player.
He's a very good backup catcher.
Right, and they kept talking him up like he was going to play a whole lot, Tom, and that hadn't been his role before. So I remember talking to some people in spring training who were a little bit surprised that they would think he could be that kind of guy. So it's not surprising they need another guy out there to catch a lot.
Zobrist leads off first. He's stolen 6 bases. Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. So 3 balls and no strikes the count. Lobaton 1 for his last 12. Kendrick trying to roll double play. And ball 4. So the first walk of the afternoon. That puts runners on first and second for Jeff Keppinger.
Well, he's starting to pick a little bit. You know, he's been falling behind some guys, but he's thrown some really good changeups. Left-handed hitters are what he has to command in a lineup, control in a lineup.
How about last night? Keppinger was listed as the cleanup batter for the Rays. It was the 8th time he was in the lineup as a cleanup hitter. Well, today, with the right-hander on the mound, they shift him down to the 7-hole. Just off the disabled list, he had a broken toe, which had him on the DL.
Yeah, well, they have Matsui to bat left-handed today against a right-hander, so they decided to put him in the cleanup spot.
Keppinger along with Juan Pierre, Placido Polanco, the top 3 in the majors, toughest to strike out.
Never thought of him that way. Wide open stance. He has some power, and you saw the numbers we had up there. He's hit the Phillies pretty well.
0-1 the count. Slider away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, that's as open a stance as you're going to see right now. Look at that. He must have had some serious pull-off problems.
Yeah, it sounds odd, but guys that Charlie talks about this, guys that sometimes pull off the ball, they start open because it forces them to concentrate and go back toward a normal setup as the pitch comes in.
Yeah, and then you have the guys that do that, and then they still pull off.
Well, yeah.
And then they're usually out of the league quicker. Or they play against left-handers.
Did something the other day for Charlie's TV show where he talked about stances. He did the closed stance, he did the open stance, and he said everybody has to figure out the stance that's most comfortable for them. And he said nobody's stance is the same. Doesn't matter. There's certain things that are different with everybody.
Look at him up on that toe.
And a line drive. That's a fair ball down the left field line, and the Rays will take the lead. At least one run will score. Lobaton is now being waved home. Here's the throw to the plate by Martinez on one hop. It gets past Ruiz, and Keppinger will go to third. And it's 2-0 Tampa. They'll score that a double, and they'll give 2 RBIs to Keppinger just off the disabled list.
Yeah, Juan Pierre overthrew Jimmy Rollins too, and I don't know whether if he hits him with it, he's got a chance of getting, but he would have. At least they'd have had a play. Once he overthrew him, then there was no chance to get the second guy. That's why you have a backup cutoff man in a situation like that. In case the first guy's overthrown, there's somebody else there. Keppinger, they wanted to get his bat back in the lineup. He kicks up some chalk with that. Now, watch on the replay what happens. See, he overthrows Jimmy Rollins by a lot, and now Polanco, he really wasn't. He's ready for it, but you're not really ready for it as a second guy, and then he makes a poor throw home.
Elliott Johnson now the hitter.
So the Phillies, they talk about the Rays struggling with their defense. Well, the Phillies are a team that's really struggling with their defense this year.
Well, they're going to score a double and 2 RBIs, as we mentioned, but an E4 on the throw to allow Keppinger to go to third.
E5.
E4. It was Martinez.
Oh, it's Martinez. I'm sorry.
2-0 the count. And Kyle asked for a new baseball. Elliott Johnson playing shortstop this afternoon.
And they'll give up a run too in the middle of the diamond. Doesn't want to play the infield in this early. Up in the corners, back in the middle.
Well, he needs a strikeout here. 2-2 the count. He's at the pitcher up deck. Joe Maddon chatting with James Shields. I mean, they've been chatting throughout this entire at bat. James is not he's not really handy with the bat, as a lot of American League pitchers. Has 6 career hits. He's trying to time Kyle Kendrick. He's sitting there in the on deck circle.
Yeah, what they're talking about is if he gets up there with less than 2 outs, what they're going to do. Is he going to bunt him? They certainly, I don't think they would even think about suicide squeezing, because it's hard enough to do if you're used to it, let alone with them. There's 1 out, so, they could definitely bunt him over, and then if they get on, which you don't want to see happen, but they could definitely bunt him over and then lead it up to the leadoff man to hit with 2 outs.
He only has 1 sacrifice.
Yeah, so that's what they're talking about over there. If he comes up with 2 outs, no strategy. But with 1 out, there's something to be talked about.
Jimmy Rollins, Carlos Ruiz called Jimmy Rollins in to be part of this conversation. Jimmy just slammed down the rosin bag. What do you think that was about?
It was to stop picking out there and get after the guy. It's the 8-hole hitter, I think.
Three balls, 2 strikes the count to Elliott Johnson. Ball 4. So 1st and 3rd. Second walk issued by Kendrick, who retired the first 4 batters that he faced. Carlos Ruiz just looked into the dugout to see if anybody was coming out. Here comes Rich Doobie. 1st and 3rd. James Shields is the hitter in our first trip to the mound. Mentioned that Shields does not have a hit this year. He's 6 for 35 for his career. He's talking to Tom Foley now, the third base coach. They're just going to try to sacrifice, I would think, the runner up to second.
I agree.
Change the way you watch the Phillies. Enhance your viewing experience and check out In-Game Live on CSNPhilly.com while you watch every game. Join the conversation and view updated player stats, plus news from our Phillies insiders with In-Game Live on CSNPhilly.com.
Coach is really coming into play right now, Foley and Hendrick at 3rd and 1st, because, they're not really used to signs. Pitchers are not used to, coming up to home plate and have to worry about signs. So they just want to make sure everybody's on the same page right now.
George Hendrick to your right, Tom Foley to your left. Infield is halfway up the middle. Shields squares, takes a strike. He throws a two-seamer. It's 0-1. Now Carlos is going over the signs for the infielders. He looked over to Pete McCannon to see how they wanted to align things. Signs everywhere, Wheels.
Yeah. There's a lot going on for nothing right now, but they have to prepare for things. Well, the reason they just put that on was because Elliott Johnson just made a heck of a break for second on the first pitch to Shields. So they were thinking if he does that again, we may get him.
They just called Pierre in at third a little bit, or Polanco in at third a little bit. There's Pete McCannon, the Phillies bench coach, giving out the signs for the defensive alignment. Runner goes from first. The pitch bunted in the air, foul. That may have been a safety squeeze because Keppinger, who was on third, came down a couple steps.
Yeah, all they do, all that is, I don't know. You know, the runners, with the runner going that hard from first base, if he pops this up, it's a double play. So, you know, they're thinking, all right, even if he bunts through it, we got our runner to second base now. And if he gets it in an area, as you said, the runner from third is moving a little bit, he gets it in an area where nobody can field it, maybe you can steal a run. But that's Madden. I mean, he likes to do all kinds of different stuff.
0-2 the count to Shields. Runner doesn't go this time, and it misses outside. 1-2. Young lady behind home plate voicing her displeasure on that call.
Where was that? Where was that ball? Come on, Jim. That's a pitcher. Ring him up. Is that who it is? The lady right behind home plate.
Yeah. 1-2 pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is fouled away.
They gave him a swing away. Yeah, they gave him a swing away there. I guess Joe Madden figured we already got two. I'm going to start the runner so he can't hit into a double play. So if he hits it on the ground, we'll get a run that way. Never saw so much going on for a first and third and a pitcher up.
Runner goes from first. Ground ball towards shortstop. Rollins has one play. That's to first.
It worked.
Keppinger scores 3-0 Rays, and they've got another runner in scoring position.
I mean, that's just what he did. You know, you give him credit for that. That's why they ran there, in case he makes contact. He knows he's going to let him swing. So if he makes contact on the ground, they'll get a run out of it. Good job. Right there, the runner's going, so Jimmy has no play. It's a dead double play ball. If that guy's not going from first, they get a third run out.
Jimmy was hoping that the ball would get to him a little quicker because he thought he might still be able to get to second. Jennings takes a cutter for a strike. 0-1. So 3 runs have scored here in the second. The Rays have taken the early lead in the series. And it's 0-2.
He's up to 42 pitches.
And now tomorrow with the day-night doubleheader, there's a new rule that stipulates that you can add one player to your roster to help out, just because of the day-night doubleheader situation. They added that this year. A swing and a miss. Jennings is the third strikeout victim for Kendrick, but the 2 strikeouts in this inning sandwiched 3 runs that have scored for the Rays. 2 of the runs are earned. James Shields has a lead as we go to the bottom of the second. the game that was originally scheduled for 1:35 has been moved to 1:05. That's listed as game number 37 on your pack of tickets. Friday's game, which is now scheduled for 6:35 tomorrow, is listed as number 35 on your tickets. All fans holding a ticket for Friday's game should use it for the 6:35 game tomorrow night. But again, there are seats available to purchase for both the first game and the second game by going to Phillies.com. Some folks exchanged their tickets last night and exchanged them for other games later on in the year. So that's why there's some open seats available for both of those ball games. Well, the Phils will have to play from behind. They're down 3-0 here in the bottom of the second as Placido Polanco takes a strike. Polanco, 274 with a couple of home runs and 13 runs batted in. Good numbers against the Rays, though, for his career. Down toward third, a foul ball. Phillies are going to try to push Shields here a little bit. They pushed him to the tune of 29 pitches in the first.
Yeah, they didn't get anything off him, but they did make him work. And this is a guy who's warmed up twice. Once last night, once today. Thrown a lot of pitches already. Does have a good changeup, though. He struck out Wigginton on one in the first inning, which was really a good one. You think about a right-handed to a right-handed hitter.
It always has been his best pitch.
This guy makes an Olympic move right there. Look at this. That's outstanding.
Just has some strong arms.
Give it your best effort and stay in the yard.
He doesn't do his plank exercises, his core exercises today, Wheels.
If that tarp had been wet, he'd really be uncomfortable.
0-2 the count to Polanco.
What are plank exercises? I love to learn new things.
Some core exercises where you have to the ones I do, you put your both elbows down on the ground and go up on your tippy toes, almost like in a push-up position, and you hold it for between 30 and 30 seconds in a minute, not longer or shorter.
That's how you get those tight abs, I guess, right?
Well, I don't know. I haven't gotten them yet, but yeah, I think that's what you do. What a way for John Mayberry. Maybe we'll get Sarge to demonstrate them when he comes in.
He'll blow both hammies if he tries that.
John Mayberry, 249 with 6 home runs and 22 runs batted in. 5 for 11 in the series against the Nationals. Phil's looking for an offensive spark here to get things rolling. Down 3-0.
Well, that second inning put everybody to sleep, unfortunately. You know, that was a problem with that inning. And you know, all of a sudden you look up, you're down 3-0 to a good pitcher. But it is a pitcher, you know, you think maybe he could get tired a little quick before they get to the back of their bullpen, which is very good.
Although the back of their bullpen is one short for the next 8 games, and Joel Peralta.
Right, they will miss him.
1-1 the count to Mayberry. It's that one to center field. B.J. Upton is there. It was down toward the hands a little bit. 2 outs here in the second. And here comes Michael Martinez. With Martinez coming up, let's check in with Greg Murphy with our Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thank you, Tom. Brought to you by Gwynedd Mercy College. Baseball and Hollywood are back together again. Texas Rangers slugger Josh Hamilton's life story may be headed to the big screen. He said he released a statement saying that he's entrusted the story rights to Casey Affleck and Thunder Road Pictures. Casey, of course, is the younger brother of Ben Affleck. And, guys, Livan Hernandez is back in the bigs again after being released by the Atlanta Braves earlier this week. The Milwaukee Brewers have picked him up as that ball goes foul. And also Roy Oswalt, former Phillies pitcher here, got a start last night for the Texas Rangers and pitched very well. He scattered 9 hits, allowed just 1 run, and got the win. So Roy Oswalt also back in the big leagues, guys.
Yeah, pitched it to the 7th inning. Said his fastball topped out at 92 or 93 miles an hour. And his command, Murph, is what they said was pretty good last night.
Yeah, and I was also impressed with 110 pitches in his first game back. You know, he had 4 minor league starts to kind of get tuned up to come back, but 110 pitches in his first start was pretty impressive.
Ball was low, 1-2. Murph, did you understand what I was talking about when I was talking about planks?
I was down here in the camera well planking as you guys were talking about that.
That's kind of dirty.
I like to stay in shape during the game. You know?
All right, Murph. Thanks, bud. 1-2 the count to Michael Martinez.
I thought planks were part of a political platform.
May have been one day, Wheels. Not anymore. It's evolved into something totally different. 3 strikeouts for Shields, a 1-2-3 second. We move to the third. It's a 3-0 Tampa lead. Section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wales, the question is, name the Phillies pitcher that won 2 games in the 2008 World Series against the Rays. Wales is nodding his head slightly yes. I think he might have the answer, which we will give you in the 7th inning.
We know who won the 1 game for the Rays, and he's out there today.
Went 5 2/3 that afternoon. That's James Shields, who has a 3-0 lead this afternoon. Kyle Kenrick, who had retired the first 4 hitters he faced, then allowed 3 runs. Now we'll face Carlos Pena, B.J. Upton, and Hideki Matsui as we start the third.
So Rich Doobie talking to him. We're watching Rich Doobie talking to him between innings, and I think you may look for him to get a little more aggressive in this inning. Now, if he gets hit early, he gets hit early, but I don't think he was happy the way he was falling behind hitters.
Got Pena on strikes his first time up. And he starts him off with a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
That's what I mean. You know, that's only 1 hitter and 1 pitch. But I'd be surprised if he doesn't throw more early strikes, or try to.
Pena last year hit .225 with the Cubs with 28 home runs and 80 runs batted in. 161 strikeouts. Here's the conversation. It was one-sided. I guess you would call that a rhetorical conversation.
Yeah, well, we know when Dubes has those. We've been on the other end of those too. Not quite.
No, not that firm.
Not quite like that, but where there's really nothing to say back.
Maybe a nod of the head.
Okay, coach. Whatever.
2-1 the count to Pena.
We'll catch you later when the temperature goes down. He has some passion, and you gotta like that.
Liner the opposite way. Pierre will play it on a hop. Oh boy, he made a nice play to stab that and keep it in his glove. So a leadoff single for Pena. Look at the face he just made. I mean, that ball jumped off the grass. Look at that. Boom.
It's a very tough play. The ball is by him, as you see it, when he catches it. And he was shaded well over into left center, too. He had a long way to go to that. It was tough to cut off any kind of angle.
Well, good job. And with Pena at first, B.J. Upton will be up. And Upton hits it through the hole on the left side. A base hit, so runners on first and second. Well, you may see Charlie Manuel go to the bullpen pretty quick here. Last night it was going to be Raul Valdez who was going to get up and start the game once the rain delay occurred. Nick Billmeyer already on the phone. Yeah. So here we go. It's not Joe Savory because he's just standing there. It looks like it's going to be Valdez.
Valdez can give you innings, so can Savory. So, yeah, they're trying not to let this one get out of hand early, especially when you're facing a guy like James Shields.
Hideki Matsui struck out his first time up. They will not hold on the runners. Trying to get 2. Oh boy, look out.
Well, I talked about, maybe they wanted to get a little more aggressive and throw more early strikes, so it's almost like they're sensing that. Because Upton just smoked the first pitch, and Matsui was swinging big time early.
Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies do not have an off day this week, so with Lee and Hamels pitching tomorrow, they may have to find a starter at some point this week.
Right.
Because of the day-night doubleheader, and both starters throwing tomorrow. Out in front of a changeup, 1-2.
That's what happens when you have to double up like that with no off day. The Rays, we understand they're caught in between a little bit right now. What they're going to do tomorrow, whether or not they're going to have another guy here to pitch in the doubleheader tomorrow, whether Price doesn't go.
Or Cobb. They may not throw Cobb.
Yeah, and they were telling us that it is Cobb's day tomorrow, technically. So we may not know till tomorrow or late tonight.
2-2 the count to Matsui.
Tough to do a little advanced prep on the Rays right now because they're not sure what they're going to do.
One thing we know is we have our page done for Cliff Lee.
Lee and Hamels were good. Actually, Hamels and Lee in that order.
Got him. Threw him a changeup, and his changeup's been pretty good today when he's thrown it in the strike zone.
Well, he's throwing it to Matsui for, I don't know, you've seen him a lot too. Is he pull happy or what? He is just opening up and firing that hip.
I think that's how he's been the last couple of years.
Just look how vulnerable away he is. Look how open he is when the pitch comes up there. Look, first move, wham, wide open. The whole outside part right there, he's very vulnerable to anything out there.
So another lefty up now. It's switch hitter Ben Zobrist, who singled his first time up. Try to change up to him to start him off. It's 1 ball and no strikes. This is a Rays team that's been struggling too. They're 9-9 in the month of June, and they've lost a lot of ground in the East because the Yankees are 14-5 in the month of June. Yankees lost yesterday, so the Rays are 3 games back in the division.
Yeah, they picked a bad time to struggle a little bit because the Yankees got hot. It's kind of like in the Western Division of the National League, where the Dodgers have been pretty good all year, and they just buried some teams.
That's part of the reason the Rays are still 38-31 because they had such a good start to the year.
Right.
1 ball, 1 strike the count to Zobrist.
Ball strikeout ratio not real good right now, and that's one of the problems for Kyle. 25 balls and 31 strikes.
He has better command of his changeup today than his fastball, and he's shown that against these last couple of left-handers. Popped him up. Blanco will give it a look, but he'll be back in the seats. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, whatever success the Rangers had last night with the Rockies are taking it out on the Rangers today. It's 11-1. in the 5th inning.
Rockies have been due to thump somebody. Boy, they've been struggling.
2 wins in their last 13 games.
I wonder if they'll leave the starter in long enough to get 5. I mean, that'd be tough to take a up to 87 right now.
To left field toward the line. Pierre a long run. And in fair territory makes the catch.
You know, you can talk about a team guy and buying into everything, et cetera, et cetera. Man, you get that many runs, you're going to want to at least get a W there for a starter. I mean, once in a while, they're going to have to toss him a bone, huh?
There you go. 11 runs on 14 hits. The game's in the bottom of the 5th.
Who's the starter today?
I think it's Josh Outman. Looks like 88 on the board.
It's Outman, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Maybe they have an off day coming up. Maybe that's why they're thinking.
Yeah, you know, like I said, in life there are exceptions to almost everything. And in this case, you've got to toss a guy a bone once in a while and give him a win when he has that many runs. Give him his 5 innings.
Lobaton walked his first time up. It's no balls and 1 strike here. Honestly, it would be good for the rest of the staff if he kept it in.
Do you work that way with your kids? There's exceptions.
It depends.
Right, exactly. That's my
point.
Depend. It just depends. This can't be 100% on everything. That's a little obstinate.
Outside, 2-1 the count. It's just missing with that fastball at times. It's just off the plate. Jim Joyce is one of the better ball strike umpires, too, in the league.
Yeah, this is certainly not a game you look at and think somebody's getting squeezed.
Yeah, it's just a little bit off. That's a strike. Cutter 3-2. It's got Kempinger on deck. Runners leading off first and second. They'll go on this pitch.
And Kempinger's the guy that hurt him in this game with a 2-run double.
And a called strike 3. Got him at the knees. He got that fastball over. And it's the 5th strikeout for Kyle Kendrick. Doesn't normally strike out a lot of guys, but he has 5 today through 3. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Kyle will lead it off. Just comes with Toyota Care. by Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com for your local dealer today. Kyle Kendrick will indeed bat to lead off the bottom of the third inning with the Phils down 3-0. Nice crowd settling in. Bright sunshiny afternoon. James Shields, who retired the side in order in the second, will go to work against 9-1-2 here in the third. This is a Tampa team that has committed 60 errors this year, most in the American League, tied with the Baltimore Orioles. It's just I guess as surprised as we are about the Phillies sometimes, struggling defensively, Joe Maddon has been surprised with the way his team has struggled defensively.
They've been a pitching defense team for a number of years. A decent offense, but more a team that tried to beat you by keeping runs off the board. And that's why they overshift so much, do all the things that they do out there to win games that way by a run or two, as opposed to beating you by 5, the way a lot of American League teams play.
2-2 the count to Kendrick. Well, we mentioned that they've allowed 38 unearned runs. That's a lot. Tied with the Tigers for the most in the American League.
And they, Longoria is the #1 reason why their infield defense is struggling, because he's been hurt a lot. He's really a good player.
And fouls the 3-2 back. Well, apparently a lot of the errors that occurred throwing haven't been getting to the ball, although we saw earlier Zobrist struggling with his range. But guys have been playing in different positions, and they've just struggled trying to make the throw. They even said Longoria was struggling this year, which they wonder if that's where it all started. The guys just, one guy starts to struggle, and then the other guy just kind of picks up where he leaves off.
And you need your first baseman to help on that area a lot of times too.
Inside ball 4. Good job by Kendrick to work out the leadoff walk. First walk issued by Shields. He's also hit a batter.
Whether Shields is mad at himself or thinks he had him struck out there, but he's taking a long, disgusted walk right now. That's a long walk.
Rollins flied out to deep right center is his first time up. I think Jimmy had his sights set up and taken a strike there, at least to see if the first pitch was a strike after the walk to Kendrick.
Well, he knows he's fried out there too right now, and he's thinking he might get all over the place.
Rollins hits in the air deep to right field, going back Matsui, warning track wall, runs out of room. 2-run home run for Jimmy Rollins. It's the 11th homer Shields has allowed this year, and the Phils are on the board. They pulled to within 1. It's 3-2 here in the bottom of the third.
And Shields is really ticked off right now. Way back behind the mound again, hand on the hip. He threw a changeup there, and it looked like Jimmy got ahead of it, and the wind blew it and got it out just down the line. And look at him just. He's not happy. Walks the pitcher. Now watch him get out front, but just stay back enough to launch it. Almost, well, he didn't throw it a one-handed swing on him, but you see he was way out front, and that wind is taking the ball to right field, and Shields is not happy.
Well, and Glenn Stepanovich of Philadelphia, thanks to the wind and Jimmy Rollins, you've just won $100, courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
He says, what do I care about James Shields being happy? I am. Send me the money.
For Rollins, that's his 6th home run of the year, 23 RBIs, and it just got over the wall. There's a camera well. Look out into the Rays dugout. There's a camera well over the 330 side, and it dropped right into that.
The Rays dugout is like, what are you doing, Juan? There's Jimmy. Yeah, that thing went right into that area.
And then shot up.
Yep. Left-hand hitters are going, oh man, I got to pull the ball now. No wonder if Matsui's pulling off so much.
And it hit him. Ball kept cutting inside. And Pierre's aboard for the second time today.
This pitcher needs a visit.
And here it comes. Jim Hickey's coming out to the mound.
Yeah, it started with walking the pitcher, and then the fly ball home run, and now he hits Pierre. I think Garza was the guy in their staff that would really get fried out there. Here's another look. Just runs out of room. Boink.
It's a great shot.
This will be fun to watch. I love this camera. See the hands reaching out.
Guy's covered his head.
Yeah.
The kid has covered his head.
That's a fair ball. We know it.
That's right. Well, Jim Hickey went out to the mound, had a conversation with James Shields. We'll see what it does.
Yeah,
hopefully it doesn't do too much, because here comes Hunter Pence.
If there's ever a point where you thought a pitching coach might come out, it was right there.
Juan Pierre has stolen a bag today. He has stolen 12 consecutive bases. He's at first. Pence is up. He struck out his first time up. And a chopper back toward the middle. That might be two. Tough flip at second. And he's safe at first. Thought Zobrist might have even come off the bag at second before he grabbed the ball. But the putout goes 6-4, according to James Hoy, the second base umpire.
Hunter Pence after that first pitch. We're up a little bit high just there, but he's in the area. They're usually going to give it to him unless it's really flagrant. But you're right, it was close. He has to reach.
Yeah, his foot was there.
Yeah, it was. They're not going to get a guy for that.
Carlos was hit by a pitch his first time up, so Shields has hit 2 today. He's hit 4 overall. In the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes to Carlos.
58 pitches.
Yeah. Carl Graver has given us our thumbs up.
That's why I looked over. Always want to make sure Carl's right with Carl, because he's got it nailed. He almost got hit again. Things came running in on him. Would have gotten the other elbow.
Must have some great movement on his fastball. Or late movement on his fastball.
He likes that changeup. Likes that off-speed stuff behind an account. And that's a really good changeup to a right-handed hitter, and he's been effective with it so far. See how far out in front Carlos was. Jimmy just hit a changeup out.
Two and 2 the count. That was a cutter. The difference between his cutter and his fastball is about between 3 and 6 miles per hour. Seen 61 pitches so far for Shields. Phil's down 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. 2-run home run by Rollins has made it a 1-run game. All right, would you send Pence here?
I'd like to see them do it. For the fact that Carlos Ruiz does not swing and miss that much, but he does hit ground balls. So a lot of times you decide which were you more likely to a double play on. A strikeout double play or a ground ball. In Carlos's case, it's a ground ball. Swing and a miss, throw to second, double play.
Pence has got good wheels. He's only stolen 4, but he's pretty quick once he gets rolling. He does go, and the pitch is shot right through the hole on the right side. Pence on his way to 3rd, and the Phils get something good. With 1 out here in the 3rd, Carlos Ruiz comes through.
And you see the difference in their defense. If you don't have a man on first, Peñas catches that ball. That's why they play him over there with nobody on. But in this case, obviously, he has to hold the runner on. He can't be over here like he was before. Now, he goes on the count. He's running on the count like we kind of hoped he would be there. And they get a 1st and 3rd out of it. Pence just takes a peek in, sees where the ball is. He's not running until it's delivered, so you get no jump there.
And he's safe at 3rd, safe and secure with New York Life. First and third with one out. Here's Wigginton. He struck out his last time up. He got a buffet of changeups.
Yeah, he really got full with changeups last time.
Ground ball, foul.
He's seen this guy a lot and thinks he knows him, and he's just really anxious, and he's getting nothing but junk so far. That was off speed. Here's one of those spots, to get a runner in from third right here could really lift everybody.
It was almost like a quick pitch there.
Yeah, it was another off-speed pitch. What was it? They said curveball on the board.
He ties percentage with runners at third and less than 2 outs. A little below the average. Takes inside, 2-1.
Does not want to give him a fastball to hit. They really have seen a lot of Ty Wigginton over the years, I guess. That was a changeup. Well, if you're Wigginton, what do? Do you think about off speed? That's all he's seen. I guess not. Because he got a changeup and he swung like it was a fastball.
Second time today, Wigginton's been struck out. 2 outs. Here in the third.
And no fastballs in that at bat. Changeups and curveballs. They have a way they want to pitch him, and they stay to it because he hasn't shown them that he won't swing.
Mentioned Polanco has some at bats against Shields. He was 8 for 17 coming into this game. Fly to right his first time up. Three strikeouts overall for Shields now. Make it 4, I should say. That was a curveball. It didn't look like it broke over the plate. Polanco didn't think so. It looked like it might have been a little high.
That's what I think he thought. See why?
Runner goes from first. Pitch popped up. Left center field. Playable for Upton. He's under it, and he makes the catch. So the Phils do get 2 back on the home run by Jimmy Rollins. They send 7 men to the plate, and they leave 2. Here's Rollins with a sweet swing to pull the Phils within 1. It was home run number 6 for Jimmy, just inside the pole. It's a 3-2 ball game. Lines hands-free stack and shred shredder from who but WB Mason. Top of the fourth inning, the Phils have pulled within one. It's 3-2. Kyle Kendrick now needs what, Sarge?
Needs a shutdown inning.
He does in a lot of ways.
You know what? Just staying ahead of him. I mean, getting men on base, he seems not to be as aggressive. When he stays aggressive on the hitters, he seems to do a little bit better, but need more ground outs for me.
Well, he has struck out 5 so far today as we go to the top of the fourth. It'll be Keppinger, Elliott Johnson, and James Shields. But he's only gotten 2 ground outs as the first pitch is over for a strike to Keppinger. But it is still early. Keppinger, a 2-run double his first time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the shutdown percentage for Kyle.
Always important innings for the pitcher, so you keep the momentum right on your side.
Well, that's the key. You know, Kyle obviously has scuffled a little bit in the second and third innings today after a very comfortable first inning. But with his offense pulling within 1, he's pulled him right back in this game. And he can kind of start everything all over again, although he gives up a leadoff single here to Keppinger, so he's 2 for 2. And, you know, the aggressiveness is what you talked about, Sarge, and I guess you can answer this better than anybody as a player, what it's like when a pitcher is not aggressive in the strike zone.
Well, first of all, too, for your defense, those guys become not ready, not on their toes the way they should be. And if you're throwing strikes, they're ready. They're ready to go left, right. And it's just not happening right now. He's capable, however, of being able to do that. And you know, when Kyle's on his game, he's getting ground balls.
Yeah, and I know a lot of times when people talk about aggressiveness for a pitcher, you know, even sometimes when they're in the strike zone, they get hit. But, you know, to fall behind 2-0 or 3-1 consistently throughout a ball game, I mean, you know, infielders, outfielders, they're back on their heels.
Yeah, and you become predictable on exactly the pitch usually that hitter is looking for, and especially if you're struggling with 1 or 2 of your pitches, they know you're going to throw that pitch that you have the most confidence in.
See, that's the pitch today, the fastball, that he just hasn't had total command of. Am I wrong or right about that?
That's right. And then any pitcher pitching, they pitch off of the fastball there. And when you throw a ball up this high right there and you see where his release is, you know, it's difficult to be able to throw a strike in that particular position.
1-1 the count to Elliott Johnson. He walked his first time up. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
It appears to me, I mean, that he's flying open. If I'm looking at him there as a hitter, he's flying open, then I know most of the time that ball is going to be coming right back in to my swing. So therefore, I'm not going to swing at it on the inside part of the plate. Out over the plate, I'm going to look at it, and that ball will come right back to me. Just the opposite for the left-handed hitter.
I think he thought that one was close. It was a good pitch, and it was close. Yeah. Rollins is going to come in now to talk to Kendrick. The count 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody out here in the fourth.
Well, you're right, though. It was a very close pitch. But what happens when you're not around the plate, you're not going to get a lot of the close pitches.
One thing about Kyle is that he is a battler. 45 wins in his career, 37 losses, a 4.49 career earned run average.
Well, you're right. He's the type of pitcher that will, when he's successful, give you those strong, maybe 7 innings, 6-7 innings. But again, he needs the ground balls to be successful because he's a sinker ball pitcher, not a fly ball pitcher.
There's a fly ball down the left field line toward foul territory, and nobody's going to get that one. .75 pitches for Kendrick so far with nobody out here in the fourth.
Well, if he's with the Rockies, they'd come and get him right now.
Well,
75 pitches.
I know Jim Tracy might have wanted to get Josh Outman today, but he had an 11-1 lead. It's now 11-7 in the 6th inning. He went 4 2/3. The runner goes here, pitches, hit to left. Pierre under it will make the catch. Kempinger will go back. Anyway, Outman had an 11-1 lead. Needed to get just 2 more outs to qualify for the win, but only went 4 2/3. Threw a little more than 90 pitches and was charged with 5 runs.
Oh boy!
But that's, he's trying to get him to stay in there to get the win. Shields the batter. Shields last time grounded out but got an RBI, his 3rd career RBI. And he's not showing bunt. Takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Clearly a bunting though situation, and you want your pitcher to be able to bunt that ball, get that runner in scoring position, and more importantly, be able to get back on that bench and get a little rest. Although it's a very nice day today here at the ballpark.
David Price to your left, we think is going to start one of the games tomorrow, although they have not decided what they're going to do with their pitching matchups for tomorrow. Supposed to face Cole Hamels in game 1. Runner goes, pitches line down the right field line. It is a foul ball. Thankfully.
Well, that's usually more of a National League kind of style ball, being able to hit and run, and you can see that they've done this quite a bit here. Pretty good swing going that way. Ball slicing from that right-hander. Fouled by plenty.
But it is surprising for a pitcher who doesn't hit that much for Joe Maddon to put the hit and run on.
I got to tell you, I asked the guys about him, some of the coaches, and they said he handles the bat pretty good, although that average would not show that. They said he was a pretty good athlete. Must have convinced someone that he's able to go up, just consistently swing there from the very beginning.
2-2 the count. Ground ball toward third. It's a fair ball off the glove of Polanco. Kempinger's on his way to third. He didn't see the ball. So Kempinger's caught in a rundown. Rollins will run it back. The tag applied by Martinez. They look at Shields sliding head first. And there are 2 outs here in the 4th. I don't think Kempinger saw where that ball went at all.
No, he was just rounded the base. He kept going. I think he might have felt that ball was down the line, and it wasn't. Polanco ended up actually touching that ball and kind of stopping it from going down the line. Heads up, though, for all of those defensive players for the fighting field.
That's a break.
Boy, that is a break there. Pitcher hitting that ball right down the line, top spin. You can see almost a little bit of an ole, but keep going. Now watch that. Not looking at your coach, but it's too late by then. And looking at it and saying, I can't believe anybody was there. That's why you got to pick up that coach, especially if you're not sure.
Well, he was looking down to the corner in left field when he rounded second. Desmond Jennings takes low. Literally, he was looking to see what Pierre was doing. He wasn't looking at Tom Foley at all.
Give credit to Shields, however, going from home all the way to second base. Usually pitchers aren't that type of an athlete to get there.
Watch, Sarge, watch. He's going to second. Look.
And take a look at him. See where he's looking. He's looking there in the corner going like, well, where's the ball? Oh, no. Oh, no. Here it is. Boy, that's a lonely feeling when the ball is coming like that. Gone from a really great situation to not so good right now.
He walked to the dugout. You saw him say, I didn't see the ball. 2-1 pitch to Desmond Jennings. High, 3-1.
Yeah, I'm wondering why he's running then if he doesn't see it.
He was running on assumption, Sarge.
Well, they play a little differently again these days. still trying to explain it.
That's a foul ball off to the right. We saw the other day Ty Wigginton was moving on a pitch. He picked up the ball, though, that Hunter Pence hit down the left field line. He got up. They always say the play's in front of you. He thought the play was in front of him. Wigginton did, and he saw it. So did Keppinger, but it wasn't.
Yeah, well, that's what's so strange about it, because you do have the play right in front of you. He's right on first base. He's seeing where the ball is actually hit.
Ball 4, Jennings aboard. Runners on first and second. And that'll bring Carlos Pena to the plate. Following this series against the Rays, fans here at Citizens Bank Park welcome in the Pittsburgh Pirates back to the National League. 2 Xfinity fireworks shows on Monday and Tuesday. Both games are at 7:05. The fireworks shows will take place afterward. Wednesday and Thursday, the series wraps up. Thursday's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. Purchase your tickets by heading to Phillies.com. You can also get tickets for tomorrow's day-night doubleheader. There are seats available for both games. Carlos Pena singled his last time up. He also struck out his first time up. He takes inside 1-0.
This guy should be a better hitter average-wise than this. Kind of tells me he's swinging more for home runs than just having quality at bats. I say that because this guy's strong. He can hit the ball out any place in the ballpark. Mostly a pull hitter, however. Doesn't always go with the pitch to hit the ball the other way. Though he did have a single to left field. Second time up.
He had some good power years, though. Look at that, Sarge. 46 homers in 07, 31 in 08, 39 in 2009.
Well, you can hit him out, that's for sure. Don't usually see a hitter of that caliber, however, hitting in the second spot. Those guys usually hit more like 6 or 7, simply because you're hoping they have maybe more runners on.
Two and 2 the count. Pena whiffs at a cutter. Well, Joe Madden said that a lot of times when he moves a guy like Pena around, like when he let him off or when he has him bat second, it's to change his mindset, to have him look for specific things. As the leadoff hitter, he didn't want him to have to worry about thinking about RBIs, just getting fastballs to hit as the leadoff hitter, something like that. And I guess the same thought as the number 2 hitter.
Looking at that average 203, it's not happening, that's for sure. Okay, you know, I mean, if he's going to go in and hit his 30, 40 home runs, you like for him to hit a little bit further back in that the lineup. You know, I mean, regardless, right now you're looking at his average here, the average he had last year. He didn't hit 4 high average. Well, this guy should be able to hit at least 260, 265, you know, or above.
Sure. Runners will be off on the pitch. And he got him. Threw him a changeup and picked up his 6th strikeout of the afternoon. Kyle's had some base runners this afternoon, but he's worked out of the jams the last 2 innings. That means we go to the bottom of the 4th with the Phils down by 1. a Honda is a Honda. Buy McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea is $1. And buy Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. Home half of the fourth. It'll be Mayberry, Martinez, and then the pitcher's spot. Phillies down 1, 3-2 as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. We got a 2-run home run from Jimmy Rollins. Now Shields, who has had some base runners to deal with in his first 3 innings, will face 7, 8, 9. You think they pinch hit for Kendrick?
I think that they have guys on base, if they've been warming up now, you want to use Thome in a situation where maybe they're going to go on and pitch to him. And nowadays, say what you want. I mean, that pitch count has a lot to do with whether or not pitchers remain in the game. And then Charlie goes on exactly how that pitcher's going a lot of times. If he's throwing strikes, if he's getting hit hard. Goes a lot into the equation on whether or not someone's going to hit or not.
John Mayberry flied to center his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Phils have managed 3 hits so far, including the home run by Rollins. And a curveball for a strike, 0-1.
Well, that starter, however, they usually try and at least give him a chance, to win the ball game, and he needs to be able to complete another inning. Guy throws a variety of different pitches. Ball seems to move quite a bit.
Fouls it at the plate. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Fontenot and Jim Thome were both around the bat rack as the inning got underway. There's Fontenot.
Looks like he's positioned and poised and ready to go.
Meeting at the mound. Coming up later tonight, Comcast Sportsnet celebrates the life and career of Harry Kalas, whose play-by-play announcing landed him in Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame. Watch the Phillies Sports Classic, Harry in the Hall, presented by Buick, tonight at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Here's the 2-2 to Mayberry. Outside corner and a call, strike 3.
Just not in a very good hitting position to even try and foul that ball off. Those are the ones that it's going to give them problems if you're not going toward the ball. Look at it. Look at his first motion there. Landing way too hard there on his front foot. Look at this grip there. Looks to be that 2-seamer as he throws it down. There's that little bit of a whip as he comes through.
Well, that's 5 strikeouts now for Shields. Martinez was one of those strikeout victims, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to him. Mike Fontenot is out of the on-deck circle, so Kyle Kendrick's afternoon is done. Valdez starts to throw again in the bullpen.
Back-to-back change-ups. He likes that one. A lot of the hitters have been out in front on that pitch.
That's the cutter.
Yep.
6 strikeouts now for Shields.
Hey, he didn't have a chance to get the bat off the shoulder there. Take a look at this real cutter as it comes right in, and you can see, even if he swings, and there's that cutter grip, and that ball comes right in on the left-handers. You're not going to be able to hit that ball. Rivera, closure with the Yankees, made it famous.
So the cutter, if you hold a baseball and the laces are, if you look at the horseshoe on the laces, and if you grip it on a diagonal from the bottom of the laces up toward the horseshoe, just to the left of it, and then sort of throw it off to the side, that's your cutter grip right there. A little pressure on it. 1-1 the count to Fontenot. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Shields.
You talk to a lot of the pitching coaches, that cutter that they throw, you fall in love with that. You lose velocity on that fastball.
There's a base hit for Fontenot. So a pinch single for Fontenot on the fastball. Well, and that seems to be, not that he's losing velocity, but that seems to be something that Shields is doing more this year. He's throwing the changeup mostly, the cutter secondary, and then the fastball and the curve.
Yeah, he's a workhorse to say the least. And he can get all those pitches over the plate. One of those guys that doesn't have really just a great fastball. But what he does is he has really good command.
Rollins, a 2-run home run his last time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Early on this year, the Phillies home runs, a lot of them were solo shots. Now lately, they've hit home runs with base runners on, which has helped their offense.
It helps their offense and get you 2 runs or 3 runs as opposed to the 1.
Rollins hits it off the end of the bat to right field. Fontenot running on the contact, heads to third. The throw by Matsui offline. Rollins goes to second. Matsui overthrew everybody. That enabled Rollins to go into scoring position. And Jimmy is 2 for 3 this afternoon.
Well, you youngsters out there, make sure you hit the cutoff man. Always better to throw a low throw as opposed to a high throw. Another changeup. J-Ro waiting back. There's that high throw. That throw there now enables Jimmy Rollins there to get to second base. See Mike Fontenot as he holds on to third base, coming in with a slide. Very aggressive base running. Takes the guesswork out of it, however, with 2 outs.
The good part of it, though, is that guy right there reading it and heading to second base as the ball goes over the head of the cutoff man.
Well, he's a good base runner. I mean, when you see that ball, and anybody that sees that ball that's up high, that's your cue to be able to take that next base.
That's part of the issue. I mean, we talked about the Rays' errors, but listening to Joe Madden the other day talk about his team, the mental errors. That's a mental error right there. Physical/mental right there.
Sure it is.
1-1 the count to Pierre.
Yeah, that's all for me, all mental. He knows you got to get that ball down, but he thought he had a pretty good shot at Mike going over to third base. One thing about Juan Pierre, he'll bunt anytime. That's kind of a part of his arsenal. Tries to keep the ball out of the air.
Oh, how about this time? He gets the ball in the air. His first home run of the season. A 3-run bomb for Juan Pierre. How about that? And the Phillies have taken the lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Wow.
He doesn't hit many home runs, but he turned on that baby. And what a sweet swing from Juan Pierre.
Well, that's getting that right on the good part of the bat. You can see his teammates, and again, there's another home run with a man on base, 2 men on base, 3-run bomb. Well, you take a look at how he turns on this ball here that's on the inside part of the plate. And that's getting it all, ladies and gentlemen, right there. You can hear the sound of it as he drives the ball out of the ballpark here. That's just good hitting by Juan Pierre. Curveball.
How many home runs do you think Juan Pierre has in his career, Sarge?
Oh, boy. I didn't see you write it down there, and I was kind of looking, too. I want to say 11.
11's close. 17 career home runs, counting that one.
Wow.
Juan Pierre has given the Phillies the lead as the inning closes on a liner off the bat of Hunter Pence. Smiles in the Phillies dugout. They'll have a new pitcher, and they kind of have a new power hitter. Juan Pierre found the pitch he wanted, and boy, did he get it and drive it. A 3-run shot deep into the seats. Phillies up by 2 as we go to the 5th. For Juan Pierre, appreciative of what he just accomplished. Sarge, how about this feeling for an outfielder to walk out to his position to get a standing ovation from his section?
Right. I tell you, it just makes you feel good. And not only that, you know that the fans really appreciate him. And God gives you an effort just every single time he's out there. And he gives the fans a little bit of a nod.
3-run home run from Juan Pierre, his first homer since August of last year. So now Raul Valdez, and you see Jimmy and Juan today, their combined numbers. That's what the top of the order is supposed to do. Raul Valdez will take over for Kyle Kendrick, who in 4 innings allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. Valdez was supposed to be the guy that started last night after the delay if the Phillies and the Rays got underway at some point. Talked to Rich Doobie today at length about, waiting and starters warming up as you see Valdez's numbers and whether Cliff Lee could have pitched today. And he said, yeah, he probably could have pitched today. He said, but it's my preference, or it's our preference as an organization, because a guy is on his day, speaking of Kyle Kendrick, to give Cliff a couple of days. He said, now, last year, Roy Oswalt had a similar situation and he started him and he pitched well. He said, and that did creep into his mind. But he just said he felt it was better just to give Cliff a couple more days because he threw, what would be a normal bullpen session yesterday. Guys throw their side sessions after a start.
Well, I mean, they know. I mean, they know the talent of their pitchers. And for me, looking at Steve Carlton, you can bet he'd be in there today and throwing his game.
Well, on the other side, there's Shields, who's given up 2 home runs and, hasn't been particularly sharp throughout the game. So, it's up to the organization. It's up to the the pitcher, it's up to the manager, and styles change from situation to situation. I think both teams were at a luxury that with the off days they've had, there were two guys that had enough rest to pitch to.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. You know, and either way it goes, though, you really want them to be able to come out and throw, you know, a really heck of a game. And then pitchers, their mindsets got to be the exact way they need to in order to go out and throw and pitch their games.
Matsui's 0 for 2. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to him here. 1 out here in the 5th after the strikeout of Upton.
Another one of those players in the league getting tested with that fastball. When you get older, pitchers will test you with that fastball and see if you can stay in there with that slider. Pretty close pitch.
Were you having trouble with it your last year with the Mariners? I mean, could you remember how you felt with the fastball? Were you still okay with it?
I think for me, more so my legs were starting to fail me.
Good breaking pitch right there. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts for Valdez, a guy that the Phillies really didn't want to send down to the minor leagues. He had been pitching well, but they needed some space. And Murph, Charlie Manuel's talked about this, where, you know, if he had his druthers, he probably wanted to keep him up here.
Yeah, it really had to do with numbers, and they wanted to get another right-handed arm out there in the bullpen, so they did send Raul Valdez down. But Charlie told us, you know what, the plan was not to keep him down there very long. They wanted to get him back up here. He is back up here now, and Charlie said he's the kind of guy that they can use in, you know, any situation, really. As a line drive for Zobrist to center field. John Mayberry makes the catch. He's a guy that can come in and obviously eat up innings, which we'll see today, or a guy that can come in and pitch situational, Tom.
Absolutely. He's valuable as long as he's throwing strikes, and he certainly did here in the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Phil's up by 2. And then a 6:35 night game. It's a day-night doubleheader. Now, tickets listed as number 37 on your ticket stub. They'll be used for the first game. Ticket number 35 will be used for the night game.
Gotcha.
All right, so tickets from Friday night's game can be used for the night game tomorrow. There are seats available if fans want to come out and see the day-night doubleheader. Head to Phillies.com, and they'll give you all the information about which tickets need to be used for which game. Phil's up 5-3 as we begin the bottom of the 5th. Carlos Ruiz, the batter. Carlos today is 1 for 1. His average at 350. Nearly 70 points higher from where it was a year ago at this point.
Amazing.
Fly ball to center field. That's pretty well hit. Upton's going back toward the track. Has some room. That makes the catch. So 1 out here in the 5th. Now he's toward the upper echelon this year. But there are surprising names that are toward the bottom of the hitting.
Right, you're right about that. And Jerry Votto, right quick there, leading the league in hitting coming in today's game, 363. The gentleman with the worst average, we're looking at Ricky Weeks there, Montreal, 186. Ike Davis, New York Mets, 191. You know, and when you start looking at those numbers, you know, we might need to make an adjustment on the Mendoza line. Maybe start calling somebody else and having that, because again, you know, when Mendoza was playing, nice line drive. His highest average was 245. Career average 215, and obviously right around 200. But now guys now going to the All-Star break hitting, you know, not even 200. Something's not right.
All right, so Joey Votto of the Reds leading at 363. Ricky Weeks of the Brewers, Milwaukee Brewers, at 186. Are you going to run this by Ricky Weeks that you're going to now call it the Weeks line?
Well, let's give him a few more at bats, because there's some other players here that could jump up there.
Guys that you might not like. You like Ricky Weeks.
Well, yeah, I do like him. D. Gordon's on that list. One of the guys, though, Ryan Zimmerman, very surprised, 222. He's the guy there bringing up the rear there at in 6th place. And you know he's a good hitter. So let's give him a few more weeks, see if they can juggle this around before we maybe take the name off of Mendoza.
Placido Polanco, the hitter, with Wiggins hit over at first. Polly's 0 for 2. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. All right, so we'll keep an eye on this list. If somebody that Sarge doesn't like has the lowest average, we'll now start referring to the Mendoza line as as that line.
Yeah, but we're going to have to get a player, though. We're going to have to. We need to name it after a player, so we'll come up with a name.
You have connections to some of these guys, so it's going to be hard for you to do this.
Well,
how about the Tabata line, Jose Tabata?
Mike can get away with that. But let's face it, D. Gordon there, we know Flash.
Can't name it after him.
That may not be funny.
No, because he'll be around a lot. How about and you know Ron Davis, don't you? Ike Davis's dad.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You can't do that.
No, that's why I said we got to give it just a few more weeks, and maybe even warn the guys that we're getting ready to change the name.
1-2 the count to Polanco. And he's late, fouls it back, stays alive. I think it's surprising, though. I agree with you. I mean, Ricky Weeks is. We were in the room the other day when you saw that average, and you were startled when you saw that.
Yeah, I can't believe it, because he's such a good athlete, and you know he's not one of those guys always swinging to hit the ball out of the ballpark. You know, just with his style of hitting, makes it, I think, a little difficult for him to get that bat through the zone at times.
I think Polanco knew that was a strike, and it's the 7th strikeout of the day for Shields. With 2 outs here in the 5th, John Mayberry is the hitter. Mayberry is fly to center. He struck out looking.
At least he was ready to swing at that first pitch fastball. Just get it down a little bit, out over the plate.
There's a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Mayberry. Go ahead, Sarge.
I was going to say, maybe with the shadows creeping up a little bit, pitchers in the sun there, it might be a little difficult, you know, for Mayberry to be able to hit, or any of the hitters. They're picking up the spin of the ball.
Well, I wondered about that in the last inning, but then you had the single by Fontenot, because the 2 strikeouts happened so easily to start the inning, and then the single by Rollins and the homer by Pierre. So maybe righties having a little more difficulty than lefties, right?
Yeah, and that's because too, though, left-handers not quite there in the shade. Right-hander appears to be there in the shade, and when it is that way, difficult again to pick up the spin of the ball.
Wigginton started, then stopped. Pitches low, 2-2.
What made Lee Smith so difficult to hit, longtime closer for the Chicago Cubs, because he was always pitching in the shadows.
At Wrigley Field, the shortstop Elliott Johnson goes to second to get Wigginton. Side is retired here in the 5th for the Phillies. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the 6th inning, still searching for the Mendoza line. Phil's up by 2.
After a slow, struggling start during April and May, Jimmy started to heat up as summer arrived. The kickstart at the top of the lineup the Phillies have enjoyed for so long returned in June, and the leadoff hitter's bat once again began to deliver with consistency. As J-Roll goes, so go the Phillies. And his turnaround is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way.
One thing we know is that the Philly fanatic can adapt to any situation. He can do birthday parties, he can dance in front of a million fans, and he can also follow a routine with the best of them.
Well, he sure can. He's got a lot of talent.
Raul Valdez at a 1-2-3 5th. Now as we go to the 6th, still working with a 2-run lead. He'll face Lobatone, Keppinger, and Elliott Johnson. Struck out 2 in the 5th. He's on a relief of Kyle Kendrick, who went the first 4. And allowed 3 runs, 2 of which were earned on 6 hits. First pitch a little low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Tom, when you look at all the players there, that including this one that wears his pants all the way down there to the shoes. He's asking Mike Fontenot if he knew the gentleman that actually started that. And he said, well, did I start it? And of course I said no. But we do have a gentleman in the ballpark that did, and that is George Hendricks, the first base coach. He was wearing that when everybody else was wearing stirrups. And this thing was, too, he was getting fined by that. And finally, he just told the commissioner, let him know what it's going to cost him. He's just going to send him a check the beginning of the year so they quit calling him.
Called strike 3. Lobatone is rung up, 4 in a row, retired by Valdez. I remember that when I was a kid watching George Hendrick play, you know, for the for the Cardinals, that he would be the only guy that would wear his pant legs all the way down to his spikes. Now, I didn't see him doing a whole lot of that right now, talking.
Well, he didn't do a lot of talking. Long legs, however, and long pants. Good hitter, too, by the way.
In the amateur ranks, Sarge, high school, Legion, I'm seeing more stirrups and sanitaries coming back.
Huh. Well, let's see and hope that we get some hits with those guys wearing the socks, whichever way that they're doing it.
Like the Juan Pierre look, with the stirrups and the sannies. That's coming back.
Coming back, huh?
Telling you. Liner to Pierre's area, and that's going to be a base hit for Kepinger's third of the day. Last time Keppinger was on first base, we had our Home Depot defensive play of the game. Look at this ball off the glove of Placido Polanco. Goes into foul territory. Keppinger, well, he lost it. So Polanco got him between second and third. Rollins ran him back. Whoop. He had no idea the ball was there.
I almost said, hey, why didn't you tell me he was there?
Yeah. Home Depot doing more on defense. Elliott Johnson takes a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. They throw behind the runner, and Keppinger, he was almost out at first base.
Yeah, that's when you like to get that base runner after one miscue. You can see exactly how close, and he's kind of getting back there and knowing that if he's picked off now, might as well keep on going.
1-2 the count. I always wonder about this, Sarge. Why does a guy like Keppinger bounce around so much? He's pretty serviceable. You see he has 3 hits today. Maybe because he has a lot of success against the Phillies that we see him in good spots. But why doesn't he stick for longer than a year or 2 with this particular team?
Well, like Charlie always says there, they are doing some things that not right on the baseball field, where again it's making your team lose.
And a called strike 3. 4 strikeouts for Valdez. The Phillies have guys like that. Like, let's say Ty Wigginton. Wigginton has bounced from team to team and has had a good career. He's had a very, very good career as an extra guy.
Yeah. Well, he knows one thing. If he can hit, or if he hits, he's going to stay in the lineup. But the fact is, a lot of times, it's the defense that doesn't allow guys to play on a daily basis. When you're a player in the major leagues and you're playing every day, that's a special player that you have, being able to play on a daily basis and be able to not only just play, but also make sure they're doing something, doing some damage.
Sean Rodriguez is the pinch hitter for Shields. He fouls it back. It's 0-1. A guy like Reggie Sanders, remember him?
Yeah. 8
different teams. Had some really good years. Helped some teams to the postseason.
Yeah, and sometimes you just don't understand it. And let's face it, there are a lot of times that, the scout and management makes mistakes on certain players, and maybe there's a situation where they want another player so bad that they're going to give up a player like maybe Mr. Sanders. I thought Reggie was a pretty good player, made himself into a good hitter.
305 career home runs. You see Shields in the dugout, down by 2 here in the 6th. He's out of the game. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Rodriguez. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Off the edge, 2-2 the count. Rodriguez 215, 5 home runs, 20 runs batted in.
No, it's amazing when you see the Pittsburgh Pirates playing and they're only a game out of first place. You got to give a lot of credit to Clint Hurdle, the manager over there, to get those guys the best ability out of those guys. That's very important for a manager to do.
Runner goes, pitch is fouled. It remains 3-2. Well, they're also getting some great pitching from A.J. Burnett. You know, since coming off the disabled list, his numbers have been very good. You see Howell still throwing in the pen, or walking around the pen for the Rays. He's going to be next up. But they're up 4-1 today over the Tigers. And they'll come into Philadelphia on Monday with a better than 500 record.
Playing pretty good baseball.
3-2 the count to Rodriguez. The pitch. Fly ball left center field, not deep. John Mayberry's there. He's under it. And Raul Valdez, what a job he has done. 1 hit in 2 innings of work. He's thrown strikes, and he's kept this at a 2-run lead for the Phillies as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Play provider of the Phillies by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Nissan's National Tent Event. For a limited time, get bonus cash on Altima and Rogue. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer today. Raul Valdez has stabilized things. I guess that's the best way of saying it, Sarge. Throwing strikes. He has been right around the strike zone. Jim Joyce, I don't think has had any issues at all with the way he's thrown toward the black in his 2 innings. He's going to be done because he's due up second in this inning. J.P. Howell will take over for the Rays as we go to the 6th. He's on for Shields, who went 5 innings. Every team needs a long guy. In this case, Valdez goes 2 innings, but every team needs that kind of guy.
Yeah, you get those pitchers able to go 2 and 3 innings. That just saves your bullpen because you can count on those guys, and things are going bad for the starter.
James Shields threw 102 pitches. Michael Martinez will lead it off against Howell. Hector Luna's on deck. Looks like he'll be the pinch hitter for the Phillies. Chad Qualls warming up in the bullpen. There's Qualls. J.P. Howell back in in 2009, saved 17 games for the Rays. I want to talk about a guy that's been a good pickup for them. They got him for the Kansas City Royals back in '06. He's got a pretty good major league career with the Rays. Numbers have been good. Gets a strikeout to start the 6th. 8 strikeouts now for Rays pitching. A reminder that the All-Star voting is continuing by going to Phillies.com. Help send Carlos Ruiz and the rest of the Phils players to this year's All-Star game in Kansas City. Vote up to 25 times at Phillies.com. Cast your ballot now. Voting ends, I think, in about a week or so. Martinez thought he was struck out, but he still had one more pitch to get. This time grounds out to first, so a 5-3 put out. That'll bring Hector Luna to the plate as the pinch hitter. Oh, if the Phillies hang on to win this game, the star of the game, 3 of them, Rollins, Pierre, and maybe one of the biggest stars goes to Raul Valdez.
Well, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they're pleasant surprises, but his demeanor on the mound is just off the chart. In command of all of his pitches.
Luna on the year, a .295 hitter, a couple home runs, 10 runs batted in. 13 hits and 44 ABs. The ball tailed right back over the plate for a strike. Marlins have lost today. Washington's in Baltimore later on tonight. The Braves are in Boston later on tonight.
Good game to win and get out of last place.
The Mets, meanwhile, are hosting the Yankees. That game's going to begin in less than an hour. Shallow center field. The second baseman Zobrist is out there for the second out. Well, time out for a Coors Light cold hard blast. And we go back to the 3rd inning. Sarge, Jimmy Rollins.
Left-handed swing there, and boy, when he's has slow feet, he's going to do damage just like that. He's starting to warm up. They're going to need him, no doubt about it. That's your Coors Light cold hard blast.
Rollins is 2 for 3. He singled his next time up, and then scored on the 3-run home run by Juan Pierre. Jimmy's numbers are getting better. You look at that, 264 overall, 6 home runs, 23 runs batted in. On base percentage, .313.
Well, any leadoff hitter means so much to your team, but then when you have one that can run like J-Roll and hitting gaps from doubles, triples, and hitting the ball out of the ballpark, it's even an added plus. It's the one you want to swing at up in the zone. It's a hanger.
Down and away, 1-2 the count to Rollins.
No, these are the situations for him. When he gets those 2 hits, not really concentrate, just trying to get a hit, not trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Therefore, that average will start to rise. On base percentage will do the same thing.
It's a nice month right there.
Oh boy. You know, players sometimes would have some success in hitting home runs. Sometimes they try and do it a little bit too much.
Keppinger to his right a step or two. Throws out Rollins. It's a 1-2-3 sixth inning for Howell. So we've completed 6 here at the ballpark. We go to the 7th inning here at Philadelphia with the Phillies on top 5-3.
Phillies doing with a home run ball today by 2 little guys. Jimmy Rollins with a 2-run home run, and Juan Pierre, his first of the year, a 3-run blast to right field. They gave the Phillies the lead as they threw up 2 and 3 there to overcome a 3 spot by the Rays. Both the starters are gone now, James Shields and Kyle Kendrick. You see what Shields did. Hit a couple batters. He threw over 100 pitches warming up today, warming up last night. That guy has thrown a lot of pitches in the last, almost not even a day.
Well, and Raul Valdez did a great job picking up for Kyle Kendrick. He pitched 2 scoreless innings in the 5th and 6th, and now the Phillies will turn the game over to Chad Qualls. They could conceivably use Chad Qualls for 2 innings, although they have Bastardo warming up in the bullpen, so that may not be the plan. He's at least out there to face Desmond Jennings. And the first pitch to Jennings, a slider outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
In an ideal world, I think they'd like to go Qualls, Bastardo, Papelbon, go to dinner. But
late dinner.
That's late, but that's an ideal world. So we'll see what happens.
Jennings today is 0 for 2 with a walk. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
You said, Tom, a great job by Raul Valdez to come in here and get those 6 outs with 4 strikeouts mixed in.
I think there are a couple of things too. The Valdez outing was outstanding, but there was also a subtle turn of events. The base hit by Fontenot, the pinch hit single by Fontenot, to get the 3-run inning started. I mean, that was a big deal too, because there were 2 outs, and Shields, he looked like he was just fooling the hitters with those 2 strikeouts to start that inning.
And he has done a really good job as Mike Fontenot as a pinch hitter. He gives you real good at bats as a pinch hitter.
2-2 pitch. Just missed inside. 3-2. Qualls thought that was a strike. And Joyce just said it was inside.
Yeah, one of the hardest jobs to do is paint your weights on deck, pinch hit. And it seems like every time he goes up there, he's 5, 6 pitches at least. And Qualls knows he's out there to challenge this guy right now. You don't want to let him on and then have Pena come up, big, strong left-handed hitter, because he's had trouble with left-handed hitters. Want to walk the leadoff man with a 2-run lead.
Ground ball. He broke his bat toward third behind the bag. Polanco long throw, dug out by Wigginton. One away. Carlos Pena due up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks, Tom. Well, we have some injury updates to give you, and in particular on Mike Stutes, who has been on the disabled list for quite some time. We are getting word from the Phillies now that he won't be back anytime soon. He's actually going to undergo arthroscopic shoulder surgery on Tuesday. Dr. Lou Yoakum will do the surgery. So on Tuesday, Mike Stutes with the arthroscopic surgery. So not good news for the Phils. They're getting good outings from Raul Valdez, and Chad Quall's out here right now, but they're going to need to continue because guys like David Herndon and Mike Stutes not coming back this year, guys.
Yeah, you talked about Dr. Louis Yoakum, who is going to do the surgery. A lot of times when guys do have shoulder injuries, that's where they go. You know, there's certain specialists that guys go to. That's a shame. Michael had such a good year last year in his rookie campaign, and the Phillies were counting on him big time, and I think he was counting on being a big part of this bullpen too.
Yeah, he's just never the same this year.
Well, let's hope that he has a quick recovery. A little bit of a delay. With the count 1 ball and no strikes, Bastardo in the bullpen. The ball get a piece of Ruiz?
I don't know, but something happened down there at the plate. Usually it's the catcher having a problem if the umpire takes time, dust off the dish.
They don't have the same kind of overshift on for Pena, but they do have Martinez toward the hole on the right side and in shallow right field. There he is. But Rollins is still on the shortstop side.
A lot of shadows out there right now. Nice to have the lead.
Time is called.
I love it. Veteran umpires, they know, boy, they get one of those late timeouts, they walk away just in case a guy decides to throw one.
What's going on here, boys?
That one was Pena.
I thought the other one was Pena.
It may have been.
It's not adhering to the rules on speeding up the game. Tapper toward third. Polanco charges, has a little extra time because of Pena's speed or lack thereof. 2 outs here in the 7th. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7, and they're right in front of us, Wheels. They were each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
The exuberance sounded close today.
Very close. There they are. At least 3 of them. Think that kid can. We can hear that kid if he got up and started yelling something.
Oh yeah.
DJ Upton takes low. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Upton 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd.
As you said, Qualls, you want to get through the inning, but Bastardo's ready and Matsui's on deck. And then they have Brooks, Conrad, and Molina from the right side. And Conrad, a much better left-handed hitter. So the point being, I think if this guy were to get on, and we hope he doesn't, Bastardo comes into the game to pitch to Matsui, and then if they switch, they're okay with whoever they bring out right-handed. But get Upton out and don't even worry about it.
The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quick talk by Ruiz after that foul ball. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team, 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Two to the count. And the pitch. Got him. Ooh. got a piece of it. Boy, he was swung really late at that, didn't he?
Yeah, it was very. It was. I love that term, emergency swing that they came up with.
Hit
Whenever.
Him? Oh, it's saying catcher's interference again.
Oh yeah, that's what
I thought I heard something. He swung really late.
Yeah, because I was looking at it, and it looked like he took a real late swing at it because the ball came running in on him, and now here comes that move we were talking about. That's the second time this week that's happened where Chooch has gotten his glove nailed. Here it is again, and that's why it looks so weird, because he looked like he was swinging underwater.
Yep. Well, Charlie Manuel heading out to the mound. That is going to be it for Chad Qualls. So they'll bring the lefty in. So Qualls gets the first 2 batters on groundouts. Then the catcher's interference. It's an E2. 3rd error of the year for Carlos Ruiz. Antonio Bastardo's coming in to face Hideki Matsui. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park with the Phillies on top by 2. We'll meet the Flyers picks as the NHL draft concludes. Plus, Amy Fadul goes one-on-one with tennis legend Billie Jean King as we remember the 40th anniversary of Title IX. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night, presented by Toyota. Also, the Union Sporting KC matchup. We'll review that. That's tonight at 10 on Comcast Sportsnet. So Chad Qualls is done for the day. Did a good job getting the first 2 batters, and then the 3rd batter wasn't his fault. Catcher's interference, which means that Hideki Matsui is going to bat against Antonio Bastardo. Lefties are hitting .222 against Bastardo in his 28th game.
Yeah, and they'll pitch the 8th inning too, is what they want. They wanted Qualls to get through, but you figure this move was going to be made if he got on base. They're trying to do something with Mayberry right now. Martinez is jumping around at second. They want him to back up a little bit and go towards left center.
See the alignment of the defense. Rollins shortens up at short just a little bit.
Matsui's already shown today if you just get it a little bit away from him, he's going to swing and miss at it. But those aren't even close. That's the best swing he's had all day. Hopefully that's the last one like that. See Matsui there with the sun in his face a little bit as they're right over home plate. And Bastardo's also standing a little bit of sunshine.
Slider for strike, 2-2. Upton is dancing off that first base bag. I keep thinking he's going to go.
Yeah, they don't really care that much about him right now with a 2-run lead in this left-left matchup, which they like. They don't want him to go, but if he does, get this hitter. Don't let the starter worry about him too much.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Fly ball, shallow left field, long run for everyone. Here comes Pierre, makes the sliding diving grab. He was playing way back there in left field and had to cover a lot of ground, and he puts it away for the final out here at the top of the 7th inning. It got a little dicey there for a few seconds, wondering who was going to get to the area. It's Juan Pierre who makes the play. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. Pierre has had wheels. It's been a while since he hit himself a 3-run home run. How about 2004?
How about the way he pulled that thing?
Yep, he read it beautifully. It's our Coors Light Freeze Camp, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. 17 major league home runs. He probably remembers all 17.
I would think so.
It's also a pretty good moment too that finished up the bottom of the top of the 7th inning. A long way to go.
They're playing back in that no doubles, don't hit it over my head type of defense. Well, that thing was in front of him, and he had a long run for it. Made a good play.
Phillies trying to get out of the basement of the National League East as Pierre leads it off against Brandon Gomes, who was just called up from the minor leagues yesterday before the start of the ball game. The Rays made a number of roster moves before yesterday's game, and Gomes' arrival was one of them. Joel Peralta, who's their setup guy, well, he decided to accept his 8-game suspension for having pine tar on his glove, which the umpires saw in the series against the Washington Nationals. So the Rays are playing with 24 players. Tomorrow they'll play with 25 because you're able to add 1 player with the day-night doubleheader.
Can you do that for both games?
Pretty sure it's for both games.
For the day?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a new rule this year.
It is a new rule. 0-2 the count to Pierre. And 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pierre has been on base 3 times, singled, infield single in the first, hit by a pitch in the third, and the home run in the fourth.
Yeah, they'll probably defense for him after this half inning. Giving him this 1 more at bat.
Gets that one over to second. Oh, a misplay by Zobrist. It was knuckling to the point where he just didn't get toward it, and now Pierre, hustling to second base, gets there. Well, he realized that Matsui may have been a little slow to get to that ball, and it wasn't hit that hard, so he was going to try to get 2 right out of the box.
Yeah, Matsui probably froze a little bit out there because he thought the guy was going to catch it.
Going to score that a double, I would think.
You have to. Well, unless, yeah, I mean, it's either a double or 2-base error, but he didn't look like he touched it. And Matsui, you know, he's out there thinking, well, that's a line drive to second. Whoops, no, here it comes. See, he wasn't moving a whole lot towards. You can see that right at the bottom of the screen. And now by the time he gets to it, Pierre read that right away, and he got that out about right at that point. He's gone.
They're going to say 2-base error after looking at the replay. Hey, he should have caught that ball.
Sure. I mean, it had to be a 2-base something.
So the Phils have a runner in scoring position. And Hunter Pence, the batter, who takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Well, there they go again with an error in the infield. And the Phillies need to capitalize on this, get a little more breathing room.
7th error of the season for Zobrist.
Still need 6 more outs.
Fly ball, right center field. Pierre's going to tag. Upton will get it. It's not deep. Pierre's going to draw the throw. One away. And Carlos Ruiz is coming up.
But that had a chance with the wind blowing out a little bit towards right center that it would go deep enough that Pence just didn't hit it hard enough, and Upton can really throw. You notice that he made sure he got to that, ran Matsui off it, got behind it very well, and that made Juan Samuel stop him at second once he got behind the ball.
Carlos has also been hit by a pitch today. Singled in the 3rd, flied out to center in the 5th. Phil's trying to win their 34th ball game.
Pierre's thinking about stealing 3rd.
There he goes. Just as you say it, Lobaton threw it from his palm, safe at 3rd. Never had a grip on that ball.
Yeah, you know, that's when you go. You like to go on the first pitch if you're going to steal 3rd, and also after you don't get him over that way. And if you can still, he had a really good lead. A good throw may get him, but it was going to take a good throw. The throw's on the foul side of the bag, so by the time they reach back, no chance.
So now they'll have to play the infield in, and a fly ball could give the Phils an insurance run here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Phillies just, when they get these runners at 3rd base with less than 2 out, to a man, it seems like they try too hard. And there's nothing easy about this sport.
Well, I think that part of it, as the season moves on and people talk about it, they'll probably even try harder.
I guess, because they certainly have to know that they're doing it, that they're struggling with it.
Carlos fights it off to right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Pierre coast home. An RBI bloop single for Carlos Ruiz. It's 6-3 Phillies.
Give Juan Pierre that run.
Because if he was at second, he would have had to freeze to make sure that ball was going to drop. Although he may have been able to read it, but he would have still had to hold up for a moment.
Would have been tougher. But once he stretched that error into a 2-base error, and then he steals 3rd. That's his run right there, and a great job by Chooch to make contact. Doesn't hit it hard, but he makes contact here, and he doesn't strike out with 2 strikes the way they have been doing so much, or popping up, and he fights it off, and they get a big run right there. They manufactured a run late in the game. That's one way, and a real good way to win baseball games.
2 hits today now for Carlos. By the way, his average up to 351. Here's Wigginton. And Wigginton lines one foul. Boy, he found that pitch. So they might defense for make some changes for Pierre. He's got a little mojo going today. Might want to keep him in.
Yeah, they'll get Victorino in the game, you would think. Put Mayberry in left and have Wigginton at first. Just a theory. Don't know.
Yeah, I would think that's what they'll do.
Like talking to Charlie before the game, he said Victorino will probably be in this game today at some point.
Yeah, Shane kind of thought that too.
Yeah, that would be the point.
Grounder to third. That might be two. Keppinger around the horn. And the Rays turn the 5-4-3 double play, get out of the 7th inning, but the Phillies get another run. They score an unearned run thanks to Juan Pierre, his 2nd run scored of the day. We go to the 8th. The Phils now lead it by 3. Series against the Rays.
About 10 years I won't remember this probably, but right now after a few years, J.C. Romero.
Good memory, Wills. J.C. Romero won games, what, 3?
Oh, he won the last game.
And
a big
5,
one.
Right. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fence. Who won the other 2 games?
Well, the first game was Cole Hamels.
Correct.
The other game, Romero won the 1 extra anyway. Let's see. Thinking about game Blanton.
Joe Blanton is correct.
Right.
Well, Juan Pierre is out. Mayberry moves from center to left field. And Shade Victorino enters the game for the first time. Victorino has not started 2 games this year, but he came in late defensively now in both of those ball games. And Bastardo, who came on in relief of Chad Qualls in the 7th, will begin the 8th against Zobrist. It's Zobrist, Lobaton, and Keppinger. First pitch a little low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Did a nice clean inning from Antonio Bastardo. Work fast, don't get men on, and take all day out there. And then get to Papelbon and have a nice win here this afternoon after you're losing 3-0.
Ground ball toward the hole, and it's through to left field, a base hit for Zobrist. So his 2nd hit of the day. It's the reason why Joe Blanton might have gotten the win, although it was pretty much over with at that point. But that was a pretty good swing out there.
Edwin Jackson has moved on to a bunch of teams since then, and Joe Blanton hits the ball out of the ballpark. They had a bunch of homers in that game.
It's great that, a couple of years later when the Phillies reunited Cliff Lee with the rotation, they were talking to the 5 starters about winning a World Series ring, as that's a liner to left field. Another hit. Lobaton's aboard. Up to 2nd goes Zobrist. And folks who were asking the question at the press conference forgot that Joe Blanton was part of that team. He goes, I had a win. I had a home run in the World Series.
Yeah, I got a ring. That's what he said. He put his hand and said, I got one. Well, this is not the way they drew it up. 3-run lead, base hit, tie and run at the plate before you can blink. And it's Keppinger. And you really don't have another right-hander to bring into the game right now. As much as you'd like to do it, they don't have somebody now. They use Qualls already.
Schwimmer's going to start the throw.
Yep, that's the guy that they have, Michael Schwimmer. They don't want to use him in these situations if they don't have to. But there's Conrad on deck, and you would rather him bat right-handed. So he's going to. Bastardo's going to at least pitch to him. You just hope he can get Keppinger here without damage.
Ground ball over to third, a foul ball. It's 0-2. Boy, a ground ball right at Polanco would be a good deal right now.
Yeah. Keppinger hits the ball hard too. So he would be the kind of guy you could double. He could get him to hit it at somebody. Got him 0-2 right now too. You can make a pitch to him. Don't have to throw a strike.
Phil's up by 3. 0-2 the count to Keppinger. Back toward the middle. Martinez gets to the ball, flips to Rollins. Nobody's there. He tried that flip, which he tried in Minnesota, and it worked. And this time, it just didn't have the same kind of location to it. So the bases are loaded. It'll be 3 straight hits now for the Rays.
Well, he threw a pretty good strike right here. A pitch that he can handle. Now here goes the ball up the middle. See, right there, he feels that's the only way he can do it. In my opinion, he had more time. He didn't have to do the fancy Dan one right there. You could get yourself under control and get the out at second base. I mean, Jimmy has no chance to do anything with that. See, right here, now he's got time to get under control and flip that ball to second, because look where the runner was at that point. It looks good when you do it, but, you only do it when you have to.
Yeah, Lobaton, who's a catcher,
There's
you
no
still
runner.
see the runner in the
There's
screen.
nobody here.
Yeah.
That's why we said that.
He just couldn't get the direction on that flip.
Well, it's hard to do.
It's very hard.
And then you do it, maybe 1 out of 4 times it'll work. But you do it when you have to.
So here's Brooks Conrad batting for the pitcher with Rodriguez on deck. The bases are loaded. The Phillies set up for 2. And the first pitch up high, 1 ball and no strikes.
It's Conrad's first at bat with the Rays. We saw a lot of him when he was with the Braves for a couple years. Boy, he got a ton of big hits for them.
He also made a ton of big errors for them.
That's what happened with him. In those games against the Giants, wow, did he have some problems in the playoffs.
It's one of the reasons why they eventually let him go.
Now, he can hurt you right-handed, but as a switch hitter, you've always thought he's more dangerous left-handed. So that's why Bastardo is still in the game if they're thinking about Schwimmer.
Conrad was selected off waivers from the Brewers on Thursday. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just has a different swing right-handed.
He had 10 home runs in AAA this year.
He's strong. And he was clutch for the Braves. Won a bunch of games for them.
One ball, 2 strikes the count with the bases loaded. Now Papelbon's going to start the throw in the pen as well.
Yeah, I'd like to get a couple outs. Ooh. Doubleheader tomorrow, so you don't want to pitch in 2 innings.
Over at third is Zobrist. Lobaton is at second. Keppinger's at first. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Rodriguez on deck. Phil's up by 3.
Look, there's our guy again. What's those things he's doing? Planks?
Yeah, planks. That plank hurt though. They don't. I mean, they're painful at the end of the 30 seconds or 1 minute. That was painful right at the beginning because he wasn't ready for that shot. This is going to hurt, right there.
A fine effort.
Got him. Threw him a slider. First out of the inning. Here comes Rodriguez. See what Charlie does. I think he's going to keep him in.
Yeah, he's going to roll the dice here and keep him in the ball. He doesn't want to bring Papelbon or Schwimmer into the game at this point. He's going to trust Bastardo. As you said, a slider, and there's Conrad. He has more of a sweep when he swings right-handed. Left-handed, he's a low ball hitter and really strong.
Rodriguez 0 for 1. He fly to center his only time up as a pinch hitter. Hits that one into left field, a base hit. 1 run will score. They're going to hold Lobaton at third. So now it's a 6-4 game, and the tying run is at second base. And the bases remain loaded after the RBI single.
Still got Pena on deck. Left-handed. Oh, boy. Very disappointing inning.
Jennings is 0 for 3. Grounded out twice, struck out, walked in the 4th. And as day settles in tonight, the Phils up by 2, trying to work out of a jam here in this inning. Jennings takes a pitch low. It's 1-0. Keppinger looks around at the outfielders. He's getting a pretty good lead with nobody covering him over at second base. I don't think they'll have any chance. Well, who knows? But he is way off that second base bag.
They're just holding their breath right now that they can get through Jennings without major damage here, and then to have the left to Pena. That's what's going on, because he doesn't want to use Papelbon here, and I don't think, as you can see, he doesn't want to use Schwimmer in this spot.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the pitch. And a called strike 3 on the inside corner. 94 with that fastball.
Well, they got it done. Good job by Bastardo, because you know that's a tough spot right there. And you know, Charlie's moving around down there. He's thinking about Papelbon now, but does he want to go left? There's the pitch on the inside corner. Good frame job by Ruiz, and they're going to go with the left here.
Pena today has a single. He's also been struck out twice. A game in which Kyle Kendrick started. He went the first 4, allowed 3 runs, 2 of which were earned on 6 hits. Raul Valdez really settled things down in the 5th and 6th inning. Then Qualls, now Bastardo. And the first pitch low, 1-0. Pena really good numbers with the bases loaded during his career.
Yeah, you know, you're in a situation there with Desmond and this guy where you're just holding on for dear life and hope your guy can get it done. He just turned Pena from very defensive and a strikeout guy into a guy who's a little more in charge in the batter's box because he's up 2-0. Oh, what a pitch.
A little bit more on that slider, too. 87.
Well, how about dropping that on him? with 2-0. You know, as a hitter, you're just going to take it. That's why it almost has to be thrown for a strike there, because if it's out of the zone, they're going to take it anyway because they're ahead in the count.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. And a called strike 2. He thought it was low. 2-2 the count. He may have thought it was low too.
Well, now here's where the pitch. Here's the pitch of the at bat coming right now.
Good pitch.
It was close, yeah. Do you go 2-2 slider here?
I think you go 2-2 slider here.
Yeah, because if you do, you got to go 3-2 slider.
2-2 the count. The base is loaded. The Phillies up by 2. Here it comes. Defensive swing on the slider. And it remains 2-2.
Didn't throw that one in the dirt. He threw it in the zone. It's hard to win games this year.
Well, guys in the dugout probably think it's hard to win every year.
It's really hard this year.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be more enjoyable at the end, Wills.
Okay, I like that.
The count is 2-2. Runners lead off. The pitch from Bastardo. In the air to right center field. On the run is Pence. He's there. He settles under it. And Bastardo works out of this bases loaded jam here in the 8th inning. He worked himself into the jam, allowed the run, and then worked himself out of the jam. He got the last 2 batters. Jennings on a strikeout. Pena on a flyout. Toward the end of the bat, that youngster, did he make the catch? What do you think? Looking at it. Plus MPG. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus sports store today. Citizens Bank, we're for homes, talks to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. Tough spot in the 8th inning. The Phillies did allow a run, but then got out of a bases loaded jam. Antonio Bastardo was able to get through 2 hitters, including Carlos Pena.
Well, you could see how tough it was for them to get through that inning. And Bastardo got the job done, but he didn't want to use Papelbon in that inning. With a doubleheader coming up tomorrow, And Schwimmer's at the point right now where they can't quite feel that they can trust him in those spots. Not his fault, but that's the way it is. So they needed him to get through that inning, but start it when he did.
Jeff Keppinger moves from third over to first, and Brooks Conrad stays in the ballgame to play third for the Rays. See Sean Rodriguez over at shortstop. And the new pitcher is Jake McGee, who's going to be the 8th inning guy for the Rays, at least until Peralta comes back.
This guy's got a big arm.
Ground ball to short. Rodriguez takes a hop and throws out Polanco. One away here in the 8th inning.
Hey, Tom, a lot going on around here tomorrow, as we all know, but our good friend Rich Westcott's going to be here at the ballpark, and he writes some great books on the Phillies and has a signing. We always talk about Shive Park, Connie Mack Stadium, and all the history of that place. Well, that and tales from the Phillies dugout. So, if you're here early and you see Rich sitting around, go over and say hi. He knows. He and Skip Clayton. If you want to know something about the Phillies, you go to those two guys.
Yeah, you're right about that. I saw the cover shot of the book when the Fanavision here was advertising the book signing. So it looks like a great book and a great opportunity to pick it up and then get Rich to sign it tomorrow before the first game, the day-night doubleheader.
And it's fun to learn more about Connie Mack Stadium, Shive Park. What a history that ballpark had.
John Mayberry takes inside. It's 1-0.
Like so many kids, their ballpark is Veteran Stadium, but now it's this place, Citizens Bank Park. To our generation, it was Connie Mack Stadium.
And before that, the Baker Bowl.
Baker Bowl, way back, yeah. I wasn't there.
No, I knew you weren't there. I did read something, and I didn't know this, that the Baker Bowl was such a hitter's ballpark.
Yeah, Baker Bowl was at Broad and Huntington. There's Connie Mack Stadium. Oh, wow. Does that bring back memories of the Ballantine beer sign there on the scoreboard?
What did that fence look like next to the Ballantine beer in center field? It looked like it was
29 feet.
Just like a green tin. Like
it was green.
Like the Green Monster.
Right. It was silver at one time, and then they painted it green, and it was tin, too, as you said. And it was 29 feet high. So you can imagine how high that scoreboard was. It towered over the wall.
2-1 the count to Mayberry with one out here in the 8th.
You hit home runs at Connie Mack Stadium as a left-handed hitter. You were really strong.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. What did they do with the scoreboard?
I have no idea. Yeah. That would be neat to know.
I think, for some reason, I think it is somewhere.
Yeah.
Or was. It's not anymore, but was.
Somebody will know.
Jake McGee, 31st game. You see what Wheels is talking about. His numbers are good. 27 strikeouts in 23 innings. Maybe it's in the book. I haven't read the book.
I was going to say Rich may know where it is.
Rich, if you don't know where it is, can you find out for us? Because Forbes Field, the wall's still out there. That Mazeroski hit the home run over.
That's at Chenley Park.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh. The wall is still out, is still there where Fulton County Stadium was, outside Turner Field.
That was some kind of big scoreboard. Had a catwalk on the bottom, too. Once in a while, a ball would hit on that and would start bouncing around. It was in play.
Really?
Inside the Parkers.
Foul territory. Keppinger, long run, runs out of room.
Catwalk was right at the base of it, above the wall. Outfielder couldn't reach it, and then it would start bouncing around on there.
It was a nice catch right there.
Good play. How big was that run Pierre created last inning?
He's been running all over the place today.
Great run, big run. Meant so much during that big rally that was going on right then there by the Rays. You still had a 2-run lead and not a 1-run lead.
Juan soaking it in. Wants to play the whole game. Understands it, I would think, but does want to play the whole game. Because of Juan's home run and Jimmy Rollins' home run, and each one hit by the Phils this year. One tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phils, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit phillies.com/redgoesgreen. Foul ball after another for John Mayberry.
Yeah, trying to time this guy. He's throwing 96, 97. Tough guy to time.
That guy had that ball and he crushed those two ladies next to him, and inadvertently, a young lady behind him, she was going for it too. I got it. Fly ball, shallow right field. Wandering around out there is Zobrist, and there are 2 outs. That was a 10-pitch at bat. Well, reminder, tomorrow the Phillies and the Rays will play a day-night doubleheader. Game 1 begins at 1:05, so that means the 1:35 game shifts to 1:05. Use that ticket for tomorrow's Sunday game for the 1:05 start. And then Game 2 will begin at 6:35. They'll clear out the stadium, open the gates again, 6:35. You'll use Friday night's ticket, which is ticket number 35 for that ball game. There are seats still available if you want to take in the game if you don't have the tickets already. You can go to Phillies.com or stop by the box office tomorrow. You can spend the day here at the ballpark. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, we're going to be here, so come on out and hang out with us.
Oh, and 1 the count to Martinez. 0-2. By the way, the gates for Game 1 will open at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and 5:30 for Game 2. So just plan accordingly. I know a lot of times folks can get in a little earlier than that, but because they're cleaning the stadium, 5:30 is when the gates will open for the second game tomorrow. Another fly ball to right center field. That's not deep. Here comes Matsui. Here comes Upton, and it's Upton who makes the catch. So the Phils are retired in order in the 8th inning. It means that Jonathan Papelbon is ready to go. We go to the 9th. The Phils looking for a win in Game 1 of this 3-game series. And highlights of this game, plus former pitcher Ricky Vitalico offers his insight and analysis on the Phils matchup against the Rays. Watch Phillies postgame live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, right here after the ball game. Top of the 9th inning, 6-4 the score. And here we go. Jonathan Papelbon trying to save this one and lift the Phils out of the basement in the National League East. It's the first step, folks. It's been a while since the Phillies have ascended from the basement. That's what they're trying to do. The last time they weren't in 5th place was back on the 28th of May. They were tied for 4th at that point. The last time they were in sole possession of 4th place was May 4th. Numbers for Papelbon against the Rays: 25 saves in 42 games. He'll face B.J. Upton, Hideki Matsui, Ben Zobrist.
But all that stuff everybody went through in that last inning, that was to get it to this point.
So many things today have gotten it to this point. I mean, think about it. You know, the 2-out pinch hit by Fontenot that eventually led to the 3-run home run by Juan Pierre. The home run by Pierre. The 2 innings by Valdez. Upton swings at the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Right, and now you lean on the guy that you really depend on after as tough as this game has been today to close it out for you.
And 1 the count to Upton. 0-2 the count to Upton. 96 on the gun there. Upton today has been on base twice, a single in the 3rd. He reached on a catcher's interference in the 7th. The 0-2 pitch. That was a good catch down the left field line. A little bobble at the beginning.
I think Upton was trying to get started a little quicker on that one.
I think he was. Got him. 9th time in Upton's career he's gone down on strikes against Papelbon. 1 out here in the 9th.
Sort of a breaking ball there too, or split, something off speed.
I think he noticed where he was with that fastball, that he was starting early. He didn't want to speed up his bat too much, but
yeah, he was definitely cheating on a fastball. Threw him a slider, and a good one too. And you see Upton's reaction.
Now Matsui, who's also had his share of at-bats.
1 for 9 with 5 strikeouts. Yeah, you're dealing with Matsui now, who's a Ray, but of course he was a Yankee all those years when Papelbon was pitching for the Red Sox.
Kind of surprised he doesn't have more at-bats against him, seriously. I mean, you know, Matsui for a long time was a mainstay in that Yankees lineup. Wouldn't be taken out of a ball game, I don't think.
And the guy on deck, Zobrist, is 0 for 8 against him.
1 ball, no strikes to count.
You know, a lot of guys on this team have seen Papelbon quite a bit over the years.
Little high, 2-0. Matsui has struck out 3 times today. He's also fly to left. Back toward the middle, of base hit. Just the 2nd hit of the road trip for Matsui. They don't have a whole lot of folks left to pinch run for him. They could pinch run Will Rhymes for him.
And the lineup card out. Madden's looking at it down there, and I thought I heard a whistle.
Maybe they'll go with one of the pitchers. There's Archer. He's the youngster.
Nope. Thought that whistle was for the umpire to hold it. I got somebody coming here.
Zobrist has 2 hits today. He's also scored a couple runs. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Papelbon using all 3 of his pitches. Used the slider to the right-hander. Get the strikeout on up and threw a real good split there to Zobrist.
Fastball's got good velocity today. You know, normally he's 94, 95, so 1 more mile per hour isn't a big deal.
And the reason he got hit a little bit there by Matsui was he threw it in the middle of the plate. That was right on the outside corner, 95.
He's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 away here in the 9th inning.
That's hard for anybody to handle.
Time is called. Again, the Marlins have lost today. They lost 7-1 earlier. Braves are playing the Red Sox right now up in Boston. The Nationals are playing the Orioles down in Baltimore.
Yeah, those were 7:05 games.
The 1-2 pitch. Foul ball back into the Hall of Fame club. Starting to foul off some pitches here. And it remains 1-2.
Yeah, he's beating him with a fastball. These balls are fouled off on the left side. Now they're out there deciding, all right, is he just fouling these off? We won't go split, but then he can speed his bat up a little bit too if you don't throw a good one.
Papelbon leads the National League in games finished. This is coming in. He was at 28, tied for 3rd in saves with 17. Check swing. Slow tapper. They can get Matsui at 2nd, but instead they go to 1st to get the out. Matsui doesn't run all that well. He got him on the split and he fooled him. 1-3 on the putout, 2 away.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking there. Maybe after the fastball. That's a really good play by Papelbon, in my opinion. Throw that ball to second base. Who knows what happens? If you only have a 1-run lead, think more about it. 2-run lead, let him go. Unless you're just 100% sure. Look, he has plenty of time. He can get him. But here comes Jimmy Rollins into the picture. But you know what? He does the right thing there.
I don't know if they could have turned 2.
Yeah, and you're not going. Good point. You're not going to get 2. So have the second out. You're down to 1 out now, and that run at second does not tie the game.
Lobaton 1 for 3. He walked back in the 2nd, struck out twice, singled in the 8th. Phillies pitchers have 13 strikeouts today.
Papelbon fielded that thing and was wheeling right away and thinking about a double play and all that's different. But the way he went after that, he just was a little bit tentative, so he decided to get the out.
Lobaton asked for time. Laid off a split. 2-0 the count. Thome split again. 2-1 the count. That's a good pitch, boy. I'll tell you. It's a difference of about 6 miles an hour and a whole lot of drop on it.
Yeah, and a fastball count too. Low, I guess.
Kepinger's on deck. Phillies try to win their 3rd game on this homestand. They took 2 of 3 from the Rockies. Just trying to take some positive steps as they move closer to the All-Star break. move closer to the return of the big guys. Time is called.
When Lobaton were to get on, then they will use that pinch runner, whoever it's going to be, because he would be the event. He would be the tying run.
Right, because they still have Molina to catch if they need to.
Right.
3-1 the count. And ball 4. So first and second with 2 outs. Let's see what Joe Maddon does. They are going to use Archer, their young pitcher. He's got his batting gloves in his hands. He's ready to run. So Archer will pinch run for Lobaton. It's Chris Archer.
Keppinger, according to this matchup sheet, has never faced him because he's spent most of his career in the National League.
As you mentioned before, he's a pretty good contact guy.
Oh yeah, he doesn't strike out much. And you got Conrad on deck, and he's going to bat left-handed. Let's get it over with right now.
It's an 18-pitch 9th inning now for Papelbon. Long look in, the runners lead off. First pitch in the dirt, 1 ball, no strikes.
And then you think back, should he have gone for a double play? He just didn't look confident, like he was set to throw to second to get the double play, so he decided to get the safe out.
It's a pretty good day right there for Keppinger. 4 for 4. 2 RBIs and a run scored after the double in the second.
Yeah, he's due to make an out.
He's due to make a couple of them.
Hard to win a game.
Did you just say that?
Yeah. Still is.
And on the outside corner, 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here they come. 44,878. They came to the ballpark today to see a win.
It's like he's trying to stay away from him, which of course is a good idea in this spot where Keppinger probably thinking about pull.
Papelbon looking in for the signs. He's got him. The runners lead off, and now the 1-2 pitch coming to Jeff Keppinger. Base hit to right field, a run will score. Matsui's coming home. Over to third goes Archer. It's now first and third with 2 outs, and it's a 1-run game.
That guy is some kind of hitter today.
He's 5 for 5 with 3 RBIs.
Fastball in his hands, it looked like, and just fought it off.
That's now 13 hits for the Rays. So now Doobie's going to go out to talk to Papelbon about Brooks Conrad, who struck out as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. So we got a 1-run game. It's 6-5. Papelbon.
See him fight this off. I thought they were going to go away from. Looks like they. Well, that's a really good piece of hitting. That's not a guy trying to hit a 3-run home run right there. That's a guy trying to put the ball in play and keep the game alive.
Yeah, just keep moving the train there.
Well, that's what he did.
So after the scouting report, boy, Jim Joyce didn't even go out. He just let that conversation continue on. It'll be Brooks Conrad, the hitter, with runners on first and third.
Well, they know they're facing a totally different hitter now than the last time he was up.
Because he's left-handed instead of right-handed. Archer, the rookie who made his debut earlier this week as a pitcher, leads off third. Keppinger on first.
Carlos Ruiz wants the signs right now. He seems going to step out in front of home plate. And this is telling middle infielders what they're going to do if that runner breaks for first.
Looks like Rodney's starting to throw in the bullpen for the Rays.
Yeah, he's a closer and a good one.
With the infield back, the pitch to Conrad is outside, 1-0. It's the first earned run that Papelbon's given up in a save situation this year. Threw him a split, and he threw him a strike. 1-1 the count. Conrad, originally the property of the Astros. We saw him a lot with the Braves. Last year he bounced around, was with Milwaukee this season, now with the Rays. Picked up just on Thursday off waivers by the Rays. And a fastball at the knees, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball had some jump to it. So again, the fans come to their feet. They came to their feet a moment ago, and a base hit led to the 5th run. Now they're hoping that it leads to the final out. The 1-2 pitch. Hit foul. Off the facing of the upper deck. Outside, 2-2. One just missed. Went with the split. Conrad let it go by. Rodriguez is on deck. Two-two pitch. Line drive, base hit it to right field. A run will score. The Rays have tied it up. It's the first blown save of the year for Papelbon. It's a 6-6 ball game. These games are hard to win.
Yeah.
Over to third goes Keppinger.
And it's a struggle. High fastball, and Conrad can hit fastballs left-handed. You'll be saying that all day about him.
And now the goal is to get Rodriguez and keep this at a 6-6 ball game.
See where this is. You know, he just, it's right down the middle, and it's up a little bit, and he just leveled off on it. Thankfully, it wasn't an extra base hit. Pence was playing pretty deep, fairly deep, and he cut it off.
Rodriguez singled home a run his last time up. He's 1 for 2. And it's no balls and 1 strike. So a 2-out rally produces 2 runs for the Rays.
Yeah, now you think about that. Was it a double play ball or wasn't it? In Papelbon's mind, he just wasn't real comfortable going to second. You could see it. So he took the out at first. Game continued, and it's tied.
Looking ahead to the Phillies, bottom of the 9th inning. The pitcher's spot is due up first.
Not only is this a blown save, it's 30 pitches at this point with a doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah. He's usually pretty resilient. He may want to come back out quick. 0-2 the count. Runners lead off first and third. And the pitch from Papelbon. Swing and a miss. He got him. So the Rays tie it up with 2 runs on back-to-back singles by Keppinger and Conrad, which means we go to the bottom of the 9th inning here in Philadelphia. The Phils and the Rays tied up at 6. for 17. He hadn't given up a run in a save situation until today. He gave up 2. We're tied at 6. So now we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's up to the Phillies offense to try to scratch out a run against the Rays bullpen. Some significant moments in that 9th inning, including the at-bat, most significant, the at-bats to Conrad and Keppinger. Jim Thome is going to come up as a pinch hitter for the Phillies against McGee.
Yeah, those are 2 really clutch hits.
It'll be Thome, then the top of the order, Jimmy Rollins and Shane Victorino. So how does Jim Thome keep fresh? Well, that's been a huge topic, Murph, over the last several days here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you know what, Tom? He was so good in that interleague series when he was getting multiple at-bats in the game, and we saw how effective he could be. I asked him just the other day, I said, all right, now that you won't be getting those kind of at-bats and you'll just be in that pinch hitting role, how do you stay sharp? And he said, you know, midway through the game, he goes down underneath the tunnel and he works with one of the batting practice coaches, Rob Ponce, and he has Ponce stand about 45 feet away and really fire the ball at him. So it can mimic almost a 92, 93 mile per hour fastball. And that's where he gets his swings, and that's what he's hoping will, you know, keep him sharp. Of course, in addition to his other batting practice and working in the cages as well. But those are the things that he's doing during the game for situations just like this.
Yeah, and it's a tough task right now with the lefty out there in McGee. But I think Jim Thome is going to try to do everything he can to embrace this. Don't forget, when he was with the Dodgers at the end of the year a couple of years ago, he tried to do the same thing. So I'm sure he picked up some things there and now is tinkering with it. Jose Molina is in the catch for the Rays.
And he's going to see a 95 fastball now.
Well, the first pitch to him is that 95 fastball. It's at actually 96 and a tie, 1-0. Rob Potts, who's the Phillies, one of their BP pitchers, has been with the team the last few years. At a strike, and it's 1-1. That was a slider.
Both teams are rapidly running out of extra men. They have one in Will Rhymes, and the Phillies have Brian Schneider.
Jim Hickey going to the phone. Interesting to see who they try to get up, because you know they want McGee to face Thome. Swing and a miss, 1-2, 97. A little extra juice on that one.
Tough to catch up to this guy when you're not playing, especially.
Michael Schwimmer's loosening in the pen for the Phils. On the Toyota Major League Scoreboard, an early 2-0 lead for the Nationals over the Orioles. Xavier Nady has an RBI. Burt Badenhop is the righty who's up and loosening for the Rays. There's Mike DeMuro.
Right, they're not using their closer in a tie game on the road. That would be Fernando Rodney.
2-2 the count. In the air to left field. Slicing out of play.
Jim's battling. It's not easy.
He so wants to make this work. Inside, 3-2.
They did not overshift him with 3 on the right side because of how hard this guy throws. Figuring he's got a chance to hit one into that area, so they're going to protect it. And they're going to put their outfielders real deep, as you could see on that shot.
Rollins on deck. Then Victorino. Don't forget, Victorino came in as part of a double switch. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled it back. Stays alive. Shouldn't say Victorino came in as part of a double switch. He came in as a defensive replacement. But he came in a couple innings ago. There he is. In the air to left field. Towering shot. Forget about it. He did it. Jim Thome, opposite field, pinch hit home run, and the Phillies have won it. A walk-off home run for Jim Thome. All the talk about whether he could do it off the bench. He's worked hard to make believers out of everyone.
And he does, at least for this one day. And he also ties Sammy Sosa for number 7 on Major League Baseball's all-time home run list as the Phils win it 7-6.
Give you chills, boy.
Sure does.
That guy's throwing 95, 96, 97. He's fouling balls off. That was so hard what he just did. And you figured if he was going to hit a homer, it was going to have to be that way. And he crushes it the other way. Wow.
Every time he comes to the plate, you just soak it in because you're watching a first ballot Hall of Famer and one of the greatest home run hitters of all time. And he just added to his resume by going opposite field to give his good friend Charlie Manuel his 900th career managerial win.
How about that, huh?
As the Phillies win it 7-6 in the bottom of the 9th inning.
What a thrill to see something like that. And he absolutely tattoos this thing.
Our W.B. Mason, well, we know what the W. Mason delivery of the game is going to be, but we also know our Chevrolet player of the game is Jim Thome, the game-winning pinch hit home run. And here is the W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Watch him catch up to this fastball. That guy never really beat him. He beat him on one pitch in that at bat, and after that he started to time him a little bit. And time him he did. He finally got the one up out, played a little bit, and bam.
Well, the reaction from the crowd as Jim Thome crossed the plate and took this swing opposite field where he's hit so many of his big home runs during his career. He knew it too once it left the bat, and that never gets old. Soaking it in, and also soaking in the standing ovation he got when he came out of the dugout after being congratulated by his teammates. So the reaction from McGee, he knew it. And Big Jim is standing by with Greg Murphy. Murph, take it away.
Yeah, T-Mac, it was a no doubt about it off the bat of Jim Thome. And, you know, that's what you're going to be asked to do for this team. And, man, did you sure deliver tonight. That kind of feeling never gets old, I bet.
Well, it felt good. It felt good. You got to credit them. They battled back, you know, and we did the same. I love it.
I'll let you get cleaned up. There you go. You're all good. Yeah, that's never a bad thing, right? You know, it's one of those things. You and I talked earlier in the week about being able to stay fresh, and I just told the story about working with Rob Potts underneath. And is that the kind of thing? I mean, can you credit that kind of thing for being able to keep your stroke?
You know, you just try to come in, you do your work, you try to stay as sharp as you can. And I've told you, pinch hitting's a tough job to do, but you know, you try to have good at bats, and when you win ball games, all that work pays off.
Big picture, you just be moved into 7th place all time in Major League Baseball, tied with Sammy Sosa. Can you even put that in perspective right now?
You don't. You never imagine that. Obviously, it's been a great ride. It's been a great journey. I've said that. And moments like this, you never forget. So hopefully we can continue to do this.
That ride's not over yet. Jim Thome, go enjoy it with your teammates. Thank you. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Boy, I tell you, Wheels is right. You get goosebumps, you get chills, and really what you try to do is soak it all in. Just as the fans did this afternoon, they knew it was gone once it left the bat. I think everybody did. The Phils win it in the bottom of the 9th inning. They win it by a final score of 7-6. Look out, Jim Joyce. Here comes Big Jim Thome.